Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
This is Band From Ringside.
Tonight on the Band From Ringside podcast, Uncle Howdy makes his big debut on SmackDown. We have a big-ass newsworthy show from AEW. We're also going to be talking New Japan. And at the very end, we're going to be doing our Crown Jewel predictions. That and a whole bunch more tonight on the Band From Ringside podcast.
They better hope that motherfucker don't get shut down. I'll say have an
Uncle
escape
Howdy?
route.
That'd be all right with it.
Damn.
Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Mark. So welcome to the Band From Ringside podcast. I am Bill Vega, your host, as always, a.k.a. Ash, Cass, or Gas. Nobody jobs for free. And sitting right across from me is Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on, JCB?
Shit, you know, same old shit, different day. Good to be off for all day. Different for the last 6 months. I had an all day off on Thursday, so I got some things done, got some wrestling in. I'll say to give the first surprise out now. I saw the Vikingo Ray Phoenix match that you were talking about last week. Holy fucking shit.
Holy fucking shit, right? I'm telling you, man.
Oh, my God. I'm kicking myself still to this day for not seeing it, but that's neither here nor there. And on that
It's like
level,
wrestling from the future.
Dude.
I know.
It was like literally watching the same guy doing the same thing, but it's just, if you get a chance, go out your way. Check the shit out.
Mm-hmm.
It is worth the fucking 20, 25-minute watch. It was really, really good.
It is.
And on that lovely note, I'll ask the congregation to bow their heads as I read from the latest edition of the Band From Ringside podcast, volume 281, chapter 3, verse 14, and the Good Smart saith, hashtag boo the heels. It's all good, baby. Listen, share, subscribe, repeat. The Holy Trinity of BFR. A lot of shit to talk about. Vice is in the house. 2 beers back. We got some shit to go.
And out there in the beautiful, beautiful Pacific Northwest of the United States of America, we have 2 beers. Zach Pullman. What's going on, 2 Beer?
BFR West is back in the house.
Oh, man, I'm the exact opposite of Jason. I just got home from work and sported some cool, comfy sweats. But I've been very busy, little hectic. I did have somebody during a work lunch today ask me if I do stand-up comedy, so I got that little feather in my cap. And it wasn't my mom.
Were you telling cum jokes at work lunch?
Is that not normal, like, office lunch etiquette?
I'm actually, there's some things going on over here at the Veggie house, but let's just say for good news, there is an FBI background check being put on me right now to see whether or not I am eligible for something.
Good thing we edited some shit out.
Yeah. So this FBI background check, you know, I asked the chick, I was like, the recruiter or whatever, I'm like, how long does it take for the FBI background check? She's like, some people's days. She's like, some people it can be 2 weeks. And so my wife, Erin's like, so what'd she say? How long is it going to take? And I told her, and she goes, what if they find out about the podcast? And I was like, do you think the FBI gives a fuck about the podcast? Like, what do you think we do? What exactly do you think the FBI does? What do you think we do on the podcast? I did call for an assassination of a sitting U.S. senator one time.
No.
We deleted it.
Zach maybe cut it out. You guys don't even know who I'm talking about. Could be anybody.
It took
never
these boomers
happened.
like 20 minutes to delete it, too. It was so painful.
We are never doing that again.
Super high that time. Super high.
Your boy was on one, too.
Anyway, so we're back tonight. The gang's back here. Vice is sitting in. He's listening in. He's, just adding to the atmosphere that's going on out here in beautiful St. Charles, Missouri. It is a gorgeous night in St. Charles, Missouri. We're sitting out here on my back deck, ready to chop it up about some pro wrestling. So, without further ado, let's get to that 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
JCB, kick it off.
Oh, damn, that just popped my neck. Oh, man, that felt great. New Japan. We're going to talk with New Japan first since we're going to do Crown Jewel, WWE on the back end with the predictions. I want to get the New Japan in first. Obviously, we got 2 or 3 big stories going on. To me, the biggest story of the bunch as a tournament guy, we're down to the final 4 of the New Japan World TV Tournament. You're going to have Evil versus ZSJ in one half, and on the other half, what I would consider the story of the tournament, Ren Narita versus Sonata on the other half. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, if you don't watch New Japan, the Evil Zack Sabre Jr. match is a rematch from the G1 tournament where ZSJ, I believe he won that match. No, he lost that match. He lost to Evil because that was fuckery round. Okay, he lost the match to Evil. So obviously this is a rematch of that G1 tournament where we have much more major stakes going on. I would expect some fuckery on that. But for me, like I said, the story of the tournament has been Ren Narita. He has come back from excursion and has really been pushed very hard. A great match against Ishii. I thought that's been the match of the tournament so far.
Stupendous match against Ishii.
When you can go standing toe-to-toe against Ishii is something to be said to begin with. Now,
I mean, real high-energy 14-minute match, man. It was awesome.
And somebody that's coming back from excursion, I wouldn't expect to see that. And I saw it, and to top it all off, he won. The match against Yano, as much as I hate Yano, fuck Yano first and foremost, but I will have to tip the hat on this scenario. There was not nearly as much fuckery from Yano in the two matches that I saw him in, and that's all I really asked for, man. If you want to tape somebody up, you can tape somebody up. But, tape somebody up, low blows, long intros. At a certain point, I got to roll my eyes. Neither here nor there. Sonata is an interesting opponent because just looking at it, you would think he is the favorite. He should be the favorite. He's a former U.S. champion. He's worn tag team titles with Evil multiple times. You would think he's the favorite. But something in the back of my mind keeps saying that he's going to miss that moonsault like he always does, opens the door for Ren Narita, and that could be the way that Ren Narita makes the finals. If I had to take the guess right now, I'm going to go out there on the limb. I'm going to say ZSJ wins it all. I agree with Kevin Kelly. He's the greatest tournament wrestler that I've seen. You name the tournament, he's won it. I just think
He's never held a singles title in New Japan, which is
almost a little crazy, but
pretty crazy.
He's kind of like Sonata in that scenario. He was never contracted with...
Except he's good.
New Japan. And he is the superior wrestler for sure. I would be surprised if Ren Narita doesn't make it to the finals where you have a Ren Narita ZSJ final. But if I got to put money on a horse, I'm going to take ZSJ to win it.
Zach, have you had a chance to watch any of these matches?
Yes. I said at the beginning of the tournament, I think Blake Girl Raven put it out there, like, who do you want to win? And I said, give me Ren Narita or give me Death. And I'm still that way. I mean, I'm not going to, like, seppuku if he doesn't do it. But that's who I'm voting on. It's supposed to be a young guy's title.
Is that racist?
He's a future superstar.
If you have to ask the question. Okay.
Yeah. I got to watch.
I'm about to one-up you on the racism, so just let it fly, brother.
How's the black guy the least racist of the bunch around
I think
here?
because the other guys are white.
Sorry, Vice. Sorry. Okay, Doug, yeah.
Go ahead, Zach.
I mean, any of these four guys could take this title. Evil would be the worst pick, but they could do it for heat. ZSJ is a very solid pick. I'm only betting on Ren Narita because I'm like betting with my heart. ZSJ likely could take this thing, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna do picks later, right?
I would say
just do an impromptu pick right now.
Do the pick right now for the TV title.
Yeah, Ren Narita. It's gonna be Ren Narita ZSJ, and he is going to do a fantastic job in the tournament like he always does, like Jason said, but then something's going to happen that he's going to blow up, and we're going to get a really epic promo afterwards where he throws around some Miller Genuine drafts. But they are going to go with the young guy here.
So you're calling Ren Narita is going to win at Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome against Zack Sabre Jr. to become the inaugural NJPW TV title holder?
Yeah.
All right. I am going to pick the opposite. I think it's going to be the same final. I think they're going to put it on ZSJ just because I think that this, certainly Sabre can make guys look really good in defeat. See that match against Finley.
Woo, you stole my
was-
thunder. That motherfucking reversal to the finish. I was like, God damn.
It was unbelievable.
This motherfucker's a shit.
I mean, Sabre Jr. always manages to surprise you when you're expecting to be surprised, and he still pulls it out. It's just like,
I had never seen that before, and I was just like, let me rewind this again.
but if you're talking about the Edgar Rennerita match against Ishii, then you also have to talk about David Finley versus Zack Sabre Jr. because I would say I don't know which match I liked more. Both matches were
really
enthralling. I hadn't watched either one of them until today, so I watched them back to back, and I was like, holy fucking shit, like these guys are bringing it. This TV title is pretty cool because they put the 15-minute time limit on it, and these guys are having sprints each time out, which is really, really fun, and that not always what you see in New Japan.
For sure.
So I was very into it. I could also see them, because the finals are going to be at Wrestle Kingdom, I could also see them going Evil versus Sonata, just because they used to be a tag team. I hope that's not the way they go. That would be the most boring way they could go.
I would agree with that totally. I don't necessarily want to see that, but it would make, money sense, company sense. Fair enough. I wouldn't have no problem with Ren Narita running the table and winning this thing, just on part of how they wanted this champion to be liked. Not booked, but, they wanted somebody young. They wanted somebody energetic, things like that. Not saying that ZSJ is not any of those things, but Ren Narita is literally the definition of what they're looking for in a TV champion. The only problem that I can think of just off the top of my head is, just kind of moving around. The TV title would probably have to stay in Japan for a little bit if Ren Narita was the champion versus ZSJ, who's much more of the established name, could go anywhere, any place, and have, a nice barn burner 15-minute match and keep guys interested. Like I said, I don't have a problem with it. I would find it almost a little surprising if they went that route, especially the way Bill has kind of presented it up, where it's the Tokyo Dome, it's Wrestle Kingdom, it's going to be the biggest stage of Ren Narita's life. And now he's going to be. I just think it's just. I think it's too much too soon, and it's not a knock against Ren Narita. He's going to get there at some point. He'll win the Never title. He could win, other singles titles. Hell, he can be a tag team champion. Like I said, for me, it might be too much too soon.
Zach, any other thoughts?
I do really enjoy the fast pace of this. It's a lot like the Stardom High Speed title, which is one of the more fun titles that gets defended on Stardom, and it, like you said, Bill, it's just a total sprint. Yeah.
No, for sure.
Excited. I know that Narita gets compared to Shibata a lot, and it's kind of hard to not compare him to Shibata. He's just like a younger Shibata, and
we talking about something.
Yeah, we got more Shibata coming up, but I'm happy to see Edgar Ren Narita. I'm going to keep hitting that joke until it gets old. It might be old after 3 times, but I'm going to keep doing it. All right. Do you want to say something, darling? I'm taking you back inside. Oh, good job. Can you show everybody how you can say bubbles?
Nope. I was about to say, one trick is enough. Another match I want to talk about is probably, I shouldn't say probably, it will be the main event of the November 5th show. The U.S. title will be on the line with Naito being the challenger versus Will Ospreay as the U.S. champion. Once again, a rematch from the G1 tournament in the semifinal where Will Ospreay defeated Naito, where some say it was the match of the tournament. I'm not saying it wasn't. It was an extremely good match, and I'm not saying it because I'm a Naito mark. It was a really, really good match. Like I said, for me, not so much, but neither here nor there. Doesn't really matter. For me, I'm going to be very, very biased about this. I expect this to be another barn burner match. But if, and this is a big if ZSJ does not win the World TV Championship, this is where I would expect to see ZSJ slotted for Wrestle Kingdom. He and Naito have had this little ongoing beef since Naito quickly pinned him in the G1 tournament. I think it was underneath 2 minutes. Ever since then, it's been tete-a-tete, one fucking with the other, one trolling each other pre-match, post-match, during the match. It almost wouldn't make sense if they didn't have them go at it one more time. G1 2 years ago, Zack Sabre Jr. put Naito out. Bill loves him rubbing my nose into that. Now this year, ZSJ loses to Naito in under 2 minutes. It's got to be a trilogy. Like I said, if ZSJ doesn't win the World TV Championship, I think this is the spot where he's going to end up in Wrestle Kingdom versus Naito being the champion. So with that said, I'm taking Naito to win the U.S. title.
I was wondering, I appreciate the history. It's a very long way. I was like, who does he actually want to win the title, though? But I should have known it's Naito.
Come on, man. He's got to catch up with Jay White, man. Damn. He's got to be a Grand Slam champion, too.
I am not rooting for Naito. I am rooting for ZSJ. Maybe?
Will Ospreay?
That's what I meant. I'm rooting for Will Ospreay. I want. They all look alike to me.
At least he remembers the fact that he fucked up this week versus last week, where he repeatedly denies the fact that he fucked up not once but twice. I'm Jason Bell, by the way, not Jason Coleman. Okay.
Hey, everybody. We know there's a ton of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you guys listening to our podcast. For Jason Pullman, for Zachary Bell. Just kidding around. I'm gaslighting you, dude. That's gaslighting.
Really consider me exploded. I'm over here dead right now.
My wife was telling my mom, explaining what gaslighting was, and my mom thought about it for a second. She goes, "Oh, Joe's been gaslighting me for 45 years."
Oh man,
she used it in the sentence the whole night.
It was just like Aaron was talking about how terrible it is that I gaslight her or whatever, and my mom was like, "Yeah, fuck it, yeah, that's marriage."
Get over it, hun.
Anyway, Will Ospreay. I hope that Will Ospreay beats Naito, but they've only faced each other one time. Sorry, I was inside putting the baby away. I'm sorry. I was just tucking her into the shoebox that she lives in.
I'm convinced that was you on the microphone the whole time. I don't think Aunt May was out there at all.
What's next? Let's not bring this podcast to a screeching halt 15 minutes into it.
FTR, Great-O-Khan, Jeff Cobb for the IWGP Tag Team Championships. So obviously, Jeff Cobb and Great-O-Khan have defeated any and all comers to get to this point where now they're the number one contenders. I was kind of keeping my fingers crossed that we might see FTR in World Tag League. Not the case. World Tag League will start up, I think it's the 21st of November, starting that Monday.
Is Jeff Cobb Tony Khan's brother?
Is Jeff Cobb Tony Khan's brother?
Are we talking about fucking up people's names? Because you just
talked about
Great-O-Khan
and Jeff Cobb.
You said Jeff Cobb and Great-O-Khan.
Okay, well then
Great-O-Cobb.
Okay, well then shit. At least I'll admit the shit. I was gonna say you the motherfucker over here last week. You was probably waiting for that, number one. Bullshit. And number two, at least I have the decency to admit the shit versus last week on said text where it's like, no, I didn't say that shit. No, I didn't say that shit the night of. I'm laughing my ass off, and he was like, what? What did I do wrong? I said, I
this
told
is
you
what we were missing
wrong.
last week.
And,
it was just me and you, and we were getting along the whole time, and we weren't arguing at all. And now Zach's here, and now we can fucking bitch at each other again.
We don't need Zach to bring no heat. You just need to honestly be a man and admit when you're wrong. And versus when I just said, oh, I did say that? My bad, y'all. I didn't know I said it. Now, that being said, motherfucker, Jeff Cobb, Great-O-Khan versus FTR. Who you got?
Zach?
Oh, I got the Great-O-Cobb. No, sorry, FTR for sure.
So you're taking them to retain. I think that I am going to take them to retain Also, because I think it's nothing but good business for New Japan to have FTR at Wrestle Kingdom. It just makes too much business sense. It makes dollars and cents. It makes business sense. I'm taking FTR. It's a business.
I understand it's a business. That being said, having the tag titles off the show doesn't make much sense. See Carl Anderson. I'll reluctantly agree with you. I'll just say this. I will not be surprised if FTR drops the titles in light of especially what's happening with the Acclaimed on Wednesday night's episode. I'll go that far.
Right on.
Just a little quick odds and ends. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously. Speaking of the one, Carl Anderson, the Neverweight title is not being stripped off Carl Anderson. Instead, they're doing a special challenge match with Hikuleo versus Yujiro Takahashi. I don't give a shit about that. That kind of pisses me off. Junior tag titles on the line.
Wait. Sorry. They're not stripping Carl Anderson of the belt, and they're having Yujiro versus Hikuleo to see who faces him?
It's the way they worded it, it's a special challenge match. They didn't say anything about being a number one contendership or anything like that. Yujiro made a challenge to Hikuleo. Hikuleo came out and asked New Japan not to strip Carl Anderson of the title, let him keep the title, and then come back at whenever is best suited for Carl Anderson. Okay. I don't know who the fuck Hikuleo is, but you need to sit your little dumb ass down. Grown folks over here trying to handle some business. We trying to bring the Neverweight title back over versus you trying to, go into business for yourself. I get it. You want to beat the champion. The champion ain't going to be here. He over in Saudi Arabia right now getting ready to wrestle the Judgment Day in like 24 hours.
4 minutes of work.
Okay.
In Saudi Arabia, get paid $1 million.
And I ain't mad at you.
No.
Okay. Just relinquish the Never Openweight Championship. It's all I ask. Don't have to come back. But yes, that's the deal with that. I was expecting. The only problem now I have two problems with it. They shouldn't have gave him the title, number one, and number two, now they being inconsistent. Anybody else, they wouldn't have shown up. They'd have stripped them on the spot. On the spot. When Jon Moxley didn't show up, when he was the U.S. champion, what happened? They stripped his ass.
Well, he's not as good of a worker.
Get the fuck up out of here.
I'll take Hikuleo.
I don't give a shit. I'm just about to say I'm passing on my vote just on the fact that I can at this point. Why? I refuse to vote on this at all.
Okay. That's an automatic X then. You don't get the point. Zach, who you taking?
Man, carnies are going to carny. And if anybody's surprised that Carl Anderson's in Saudi Arabia right now.
Yeah, it's like getting mad at a dog for barking.
Yeah, it is funny. His wife was one of the ones that was on Twitter when they were held hostage on the plane that was like, kind of raising hell. And they got mad about it, which is so ridiculous. But they were like, we're never going back to Saudi. And yeah, it doesn't take long. Just takes a bag of money and a carny.
No, he said he needed a second pool. So that's why, the tweet before he was like, never again. Can't pay me enough. And now he came out with another tweet was like, can't pay me enough. Oh, wait, I do need a second pool. I'm like, you little motherfucker. I can't stand you. God damn.
Yeah, he's got heat with you. But,
he's got heat with you. Come find me, Carl Anderson. There you go. Come find me, Carl Anderson. Okay? You got bald head. I got bald head, too. I will smack you silly, main event, Carl Anderson. You got bright lights on you. That's okay. You're going to need them bright lights to wake your little narrow ass up when I put this work on you. Come find me, Carl Anderson. You happy now?
He's heating up.
You ain't the only one that's got heat around here.
He's got 2 pools. You got. Come find him.
Can't swim. I don't need no fucking pool.
All right. What's next?
Junior, like I said, junior tag titles on the line. You're gonna have Francisco Akira and TJP versus Titan and Bushi. Titan has apparently joined LIJ. I'm not a huge fan of this, but it is what it is. I think this is partially in the fact that Hiromu is in this blind tag match that we can talk about really quick. I'm going to take the champs on this one to retain. I love TJP. I love Francisco Akira, especially.
They have real chemistry as a tag
team, and I think that hopefully they'll do the right thing and keep them as the team and keep that moving forward. Teton is cool. I just don't necessarily want to see him and Bushi as tag team champions, even though I'm at LIJ Martin.
Who you got, Zach?
Oh dear.
That nigga said, "Oh dear."
I mean, he's never thought about
dear.
he's never thought about this match.
Never
have I.
once. Never once.
Never occurred to me either.
I'll throw. This looks like a really good match, though. I'll put CJP and Akira. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to ask Zach. Zach's the only one allowed to answer this question. Okay. Zach, who has a better chance of winning in a fight? Me versus Eddie Kingston or Jason versus Carl Anderson?
Definitely Jason versus Carl Anderson.
Wow. Wow. I did not see that coming. He didn't even hesitate.
No, not at all. It was like softball.
Only because I think Eddie Kingston has been in literally 1,000 fights.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. Like, Eddie Kingston and I are close enough in age to where, listen, we probably have the same amount of cardio, let's be honest. The thing with Jason and Carl Anderson is Jason's a full 10 years older than him.
That's true. How big's Carl Anderson?
Bigger than Jason?
Hey, man, look, I watched some Tama Tonga videos, man. I'll be straight. Don't you trip off that.
All right, we're gonna put a poll on the we're gonna put a poll on Twitter.
We were totally.
I'm just gonna get totally owned on this just because I'm the heel, Jason's the face. Everybody's gonna shit on me. It's fine. There'll be like 13 votes.
Tomorrow morning, I will put the podcast up, and then I'll attach a second tweet, and the second tweet will be a poll. Then we'll do a poll on who has the better chance, me versus Carl Anderson, you versus Eddie Kingston.
The answer is simple. It's me.
That's it. Your boy over here getting your back as well as should.
I'll take TJP and Akira. Okay, what's next?
Blind tag team match. I don't know how you can even really predict who's going to win or who's going to be on what team. But anyway, the four participants.
It gets the X.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say.
No way.
We're not going to make this prediction by any stretch of the imagination, but just for the record, El Desperado, Master Wato, Taiji Ishimori, and Hiromu are going to be the four guys in this match. They're going to draw straws and have teams and then go from there. All this is a big build up to Wrestle Kingdom, where these four guys are going to have a fatal four-way match, and obviously we'll talk about that at that point. From there, I think I pretty much covered it off the top of my head. I can't think of any other matches that we really need to talk about. From this point on, we'll be heading fast forward to January 4th for Wrestle Kingdom. I can't wait, which reminds me I need to get that day off so that way I can just watch that in peace and not have to worry about working a double, because I believe that is a Wednesday. But neither here nor there. I think we're set on the New Japan portion of the program. So, Bill, whenever you're ready, my friend.
All right, let's get to that. 2 counts.
1, 2, 3.
All right, so Zach has surrendered his 2-count privileges tonight because his life has been turned upside down by some work shit. So we're just going to talk about AEW Dynamite, which I would say was a noteworthy show for a number of reasons. Some good, some better. None of them were really terrible, but I was into it. I watched it all, the entire thing, pretty much live with a couple breaks in between. But it opened up with Darby Allin versus Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal goes over. A guy comes out in a Sting mask. I'll tell you what, Tony Khan has a real problem with this, with big reveals. Like, he thinks he's going to make this big reveal. Remember he certainly has a problem with big reveals when it comes to this particular faction, because when they brought out Satnam Singh, remember how disappointing that was? It was like, wait a minute, nobody knows who the fuck this guy is. Guy comes out in a Sting mask. You expect everybody, the crowd is waiting for this to be somebody they know. They are waiting for it to be somebody they know. Takes off his mask. It is Cole Carter?
Yes.
Cole Carter. who is previously of the Factory, I believe.
Sounds right? Question mark?
That crowd, I mean, way to suck the wind out of a crowd, man. That you could have heard a pin drop. And it's nothing against Cole Carter. He was put in a situation where he could not win right there. It's a fun place to debut. Maybe not as a Dynamite opening match because that crowd always comes in super hype and they are ready for something big. And maybe this was a misdirect for what came next, which was Double J. Jeff Jarrett makes his AEW debut. Jeff Jarrett has now been in every single major and minor wrestling company in the United States in the last 30 years, except for ECW. I don't believe he was ever signed to ECW. But
I would love to.
What did you think about this segment, Jason?
Jesus Christ. I agree with everything you said about Cole Carter. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And this is the bad part about AEW's surprise reveals, because some are so good, dare I say great, that anytime you see one coming, see Chris Jericho, and we'll obviously talk about that here in a little bit, you're like, oh, who could it be? Who could it be? I saw a fucking spreadsheet on the possible guys that Chris Jericho could wrestle, from ROH, past champions, did he win the Pure Championship, TV Championship? I'm looking at this. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. This is a guy who loves wrestling fans. I'm over the top as a wrestling fan myself, but this is where I'm just like, okay, this is a little too much even for me. I love the fact that the reveals are so good that, it's like, oh, man, you remember where you was when that happened. But then you have reveals are like this. And this was like a fart in the wind. I'm like, I guess I had to watch all of 9 Rampage or Dynamite to know who Cole Carter is. Because I watch Dynamite every week. Every now and then I watch Rampage. He pulled that mask off. I was like, I have no idea who this guy is. That guy commentary was like, it's Cole Carter. I'm like, okay, so who the fuck is that?
My first thought was like, is that Hook? I was like, I had no idea.
I had no idea who he was.
Zach, what you think?
I did not expect a large reveal. It was definitely, as Jason so astutely put it, a fart in the wind. Nobody gave a shit that it was Cole Carter under there, including me. But I also didn't expect it to be anybody crazy. But the way they presented it, it seemed like they wanted a reaction. They took their time. They should have just put Jarrett under the mask, especially like with Jarrett and Sting. They've got history.
That's why I think it was kind of like, I think that he thought that he was doing Tony Khan when I say he. I think that he thought what he was doing when he did Adam Cole and then Bryan Danielson, where you thought Adam Cole was the big reveal, and it's like, oh shit, here comes Danielson. I think that it was supposed to be like here's the big reveal, and it's like, oh shit, but here's the bigger reveal. But it's just like Jeff Jarrett showing up does not seem like a big. I mean, okay, I mean it's noteworthy, it's newsworthy. Go ahead, Zach. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, you're right. It's newsworthy. I think that he's supposed to be doing more backstage stuff, but it is interesting that they immediately put him on television. I don't know if it's just a, spark some interest, pop a rating, get some headlines, get people talking about it, whatever. I don't want to see Jeff Jarrett with any kind of longevity, unless there's some miraculous daddy ass situation where he just somehow manages to get slapped up to over 25 years later, but I don't think that's happening. So, we don't need Jeff Jarrett on the TV. But, can he do some good there? Maybe. Dude's like super experienced, helped some young guys, been doing it forever. But I don't need to see him in matches.
What I really don't want to see is a stinger splash on Jeff Jarrett.
I think that's what we're leading to.
I know. Sting is, I've come around on Sting. Like, I don't, like, as long as he's having fun out there, but as long as he's doing it with young talent, that's a completely different thing to me, where he's not the focal point of every match and he's getting over either homegrown or younger talent on AEW. I do not want to see Sting on Jeff Jarrett. Maybe,
they've done. It's been perfect with Sting. Like, that's exactly how a legend should be.
I agree.
My guess is this leads to Sting and Darby versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
Dude, if they were a tag team called Starby Ding, that would be so fucking good. Who you got? The Acclaimed or Starby Ding? Fuck it. That's what they're called now on this podcast from here on out.
You're welcome. Yeah, right. It's Starby Ding.
They're gonna introduce Ric Flair at AEW in that match,
dude. And that's you. I can't believe you were in my head, and I was just getting ready to say that. I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised, and I think it's a stretch, but I think it's been long enough to where all the shit with Flair has kind of subsided a little bit to now you can bring him in if you want to, and then team him up with Andrade, because God knows Andrade ain't doing shit, and move from that point going forward.
All right, so coming up next, we had Moxley versus Lee Moriarty with Ethan Page on commentary. This match, I kind of like the story that they were telling with Jon Moxley, where Lee Moriarty was considered to be with. They were considering him for Blackpool Combat Club. They ultimately did not go with him. They ended up going with Wheeler Yuta. But this was a fun match that ended with a big time, or Ethan Page coming down and fucking with Jon Moxley. Actually leaving Jon Moxley laying, which you don't see a whole lot. What did you think of this segment, Zach?
Lamar Jackson was the star of the whole thing. That was ridiculous. Dude just walks in.
I know. I was like, who the fuck is coming in? I'm like, God damn, you got Moxley in the ring. Oh, never mind. It's Lamar Jackson. My fault. Go ahead, players. Slow down.
Yeah.
My bad. MVP's in the house.
I'd have been so mad if I was Jon Moxley. Like, I'm the world champion. I'm like the coolest dude in wrestling. I'm out here fighting every week. Like every single week, I'm doing title eliminator matches, and then like the crowd's dead, and then this guy just walks in. I'd have so much heat with him, like real life heat.
I'll say, thanks, Lamar. Sit your dumb ass down. Coming in all late and shit in the middle of my match. What the fuck's wrong with you?
But the match was fine.
Yeah, I like Lee Moriarty. I like him a lot.
But nobody cared. Like so
ultimately, and I think
match, but nobody cared.
And I think that's kind of a. I don't necessarily think it's a problem, but I think everybody's waiting for Moxley versus MJF, and we're not. And this is just things along the road to that. Nobody really cared about this match because you knew who was going to win. Ultimately, to me, this was the chance for Lee Moriarty to look good against the champion, which I think he did. But ultimately, I agree with Two Beer. It's just the crowd wasn't feeling it because ultimately the finish was predictable.
You know what they need to do? Uber long-term story here. They need if Moxley is dropping the belt to MJF, they need to have Captain Sean Dean in one of these eliminator matches. Have him beat Moxley because he's beaten MJF twice on Fluke wins. Like the only dude to beat MJF. And then have Captain Sean Dean be his first challenger. God, that's fucking the worst idea, but it's so funny.
Let this man book the territory.
Yeah.
What you say? I'm sitting there thinking, like, where the fuck is he going? Oh yeah, he did beat him twice.
But really, though, Moxley should, like, if he's driving title MJF, I think it would be cool for him to like surprise put somebody over, not for him or even for the person specifically. Make these title eliminator matches mean something to where you're like, oh shit, somebody actually can win one of these things.
See interim title.
Oh, let's not get into that again.
I said my piece.
We had Renee Paquette backstage with Saraya. Saraya says they asked her. Am I saying that right, Saraya?
I think it's Saraya, but whatever.
So they asked.
You know who we talking about?
They asked her
I think it's
Paige.
Jason Pullman.
No problem, Zachary Bell.
Hey, everybody. We know there's tons of podcast listeners, so we appreciate you guys. Soraya says that. So Renee Paquette asked her the main question: are you cleared? And she's like, I've talked to doctors. There's one more doctor that I want to talk to, and it's like okay, it's like we get it. You got to talk to Dr. Britt Baker. Fair enough. So it looks like we're headed towards Britt Baker versus Soraya. And
I didn't even get that. That's very fun.
You didn't get that?
Nope. Right over my head.
Oh, Two Beer.
That's all right. He had a tumultuous week of work.
Okay,
dude.
All right. That's fair. I'll leave it alone.
Next up, we have what can only be termed. It can only, like this is and it's not because of Billy Gunn's involvement. This was a straight up Attitude Era segment. Like there's no other way to say it. The Acclaim come out to celebrate Billy Gunn's. They come out to celebrate Billy Gunn's birthday. They didn't say how old he was. They did talk about his meal plan. We've said it before on this podcast. Billy Gunn looks amazing. Like, it is fucked up that I did. Oh, you know what? I know how old he is. He's 59.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, we just did his birthday like a couple weeks ago.
No, not a couple weeks ago. It's his birthday this week. That was his birthday celebration. He is 59 years old. So, he's 59 years old. This can only be considered like I said, an Attitude Era segment. They come out, they do a bunch of Scissor Me Daddy stuff. The crowd's going, they're huge baby faces, hugely over. The Guns come out to say, hey, we're your kids. What the fuck? And then W. Morrissey shows up behind the Acclaim, starts beating them up, and then FTR comes out to make the save. FTR looks at the tag belts, and that's basically your segment. What do you think about this, Jason?
This is the reason why I said that I wanted to pick, was it great, Corn on the Cob to win the IWGP Tag Team Championships. I just have a hard time really thinking that FTR is going to win all the titles. Can they do it? Sure they can do it. They're the tag team of the year, the hottest tag team of 2022, hands down. Hands down. Anybody you put in front of them, they have beaten.
Of course.
I don't know. I got to see it. For them to beat the Acclaimed for me, I'd have to see some fuckery for them to do it. And this is the reason why. Because they're two of the hottest acts on all of AEW, whether it's singles, women's, tag teams, whatever. When their music hits, huge pop. If you put them in a match, you're going to have to worry about the ramifications thereof. If the Acclaim lose, are they going to lose some steam? Probably not, but it's something to think about. If FTR loses, their claim of being the greatest tag team of the modern day history is kind of taking a little ding in kayfabe. So you guys think about that. I get it. We're going to get there. I just don't know if we're getting there with FTR having 3 belts already in pocket, getting ready to get to the 4th.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see them put the Acclaimed over, at least. If they're going to have all these belts, then you might as well put the Acclaimed over. This segment, I was looking forward to it because I know how over the Acclaimed are, and I thought it would be fun. This segment was a little bit too
Sports entertainment.
Masturbatory for me.
Whoa, Two Beard, get your boy off the ledge.
I don't know. I think it's pretty accurate. It was fun, but the Acclaimed every Wednesday is great for them. It's great for shirt sales and stuff. But it's like every Wednesday we have like some, it's like they're just this is what wrestling is. You just keep doing the thing until it stops being over. So we'll just see how long it takes for their random talking segments where they do the scissoring to get over. But yeah, it was fine.
All right.
Wow.
I mean, listen, the man tells it how it is. Can't be mad at him for telling how it is.
Just expected something different, that's all.
Next up, we had Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker backstage. They talked about how they wanted a shot at, I don't even remember. Who they say they wanted a shot at?
Honestly, I don't remember either, and I think therein lies the problem.
Yeah, okay. All right.
What you mean? Oh,
I thought you were giving me a look like I was the unprofessional one, but I guess we're both just unprofessional because it was I don't know the segment.
Zach, did you watch this segment?
Nope.
All right, cool. Next up, we have Jericho calling out he calls out a former ROH champion. It's an open challenge. I guess they were clever enough with the wording that they didn't say ROH World Heavyweight Champion. Out comes your boy Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana comes out. They have as good of a match as Colt Cabana and Jericho can probably have, which is to say, it's not going to be a 5-star classic at this stage in their careers between those two guys. But Colt Cabana was super over. Got a bunch of welcome back chants. No your mom's bank account chants, which I was hoping that he wasn't going to get, but he didn't get it, and the crowd was very happy to see him. My thought about this is what we have to think about here. What we have to think about here
That's your boy.
is this has to put to bed any speculation that and I didn't really want to talk about CM Punk here, but this has to put to bed any speculation that CM Punk was telling the truth when he said that he never told Tony Khan to get Colt Cabana off the roster, that he didn't want to work on the same roster as Colt Cabana. One of two things is true. Either CM Punk sat down with Tony Khan and said, if I'm here, Colt Cabana can't be here. That's number one. Or two, Tony Khan read the writing on the wall, didn't want to piss off the guy that he was paying the most money to in the entire company, presumably, and decided to take Colt Cabana off the roster just to placate CM Punk. Either way, it had everything to do with CM Punk. And what I kind of had to think about this is that now that Hangman Page has gotten a title shot, almost killed himself in the process, but had a title shot, and they bring back Colt Cabana the first chance that they really can, storyline-wise, it had everything to do with CM Punk. And now this is like kind of the fuck CM Punk era. Because now it seems like they're going out of their way to be like, man, fuck CM Punk. Which, granted, that's kind of how I feel too. I know that's how Jason feels. I know that's pretty much how Zach feels. So
I am the living embodiment of the 100 emoji right now listening to you.
I like that. Okay, so expound on it if you can.
No, you're absolutely right. This put to rest, like, Colt Cabana was back because CM Punk was gone, whether he was asked to do it or not, exactly what you said. And I think it's funny also because it definitely, says something, even though they're not saying anything about this. There's like mum's the word, we don't get any kind of news about this shit. It does say something, and it might be as close as we get to any kind of like an actual response. And it seemed like a fuck you to Punk to put Colt Cabana in a world title match right after this investigation wrapped up, and I loved it.
I think both things can be true, where Tony placated to CM Punk and Punk purposely made sure that Colt Cabana wasn't on TV while he was on the roster. I think both things can be true. Now, that being said, my knee-jerk reaction seeing Colt Cabana was not even thinking about CM Punk. I was like, oh, this is kind of underwhelming, but it should be okay. But then as I started to watch the match, I'm like, wait a minute. Colt Cabana's on TV on AEW Dynamite. What the? Oh, man.
How can
this
you
is
look
some
at
fucked up
listen,
shit.
for better or for worse, how can you look at Colt Cabana in November of 2022 being on AEW television and not think about CM Punk? I mean, we just had the biggest news story of the year. I mean, Vince McMahon be damned. It was maybe not the biggest news story of the year. It was the most salacious wrestling news story of the year that all involved CM Punk running down Colt Cabana and then fighting with the Elite.
Okay.
Like, how could I listen? I'm not criticizing you.
No,
I'm just saying that's unbelievable to me.
For me, it's not even about Colt Cabana. It's not even about the Elite. It's about CM Punk and the unprofessional bullshit that he profound on that fucking stage or whatever you want to call it in that press conference. If he just comes out and just
How about this?
And if he just be cool like Fonzie, we wouldn't have this problem.
How about this? After the CM Punk fiasco, Colt Cabana got a title shot before the Elite did. I mean, think about that. I'm just saying it's kind of unbelievable.
Hang on.
It's kind of unbelievable, and there's no other way to read it except for as a fuck you to CM Punk.
I agree with this. It's a fuck you to CM Punk.
Now, listen, if CM Punk was still there, would Colt Cabana still have gotten the same pop? Yeah, he still would have gotten a big pop. Maybe not as big as he got here, but he still would have gotten a big pop.
Fair.
But the Elite still aren't on TV.
Okay, I'll go this far. 2 parts. Number one, Colt Cabana getting this title shot is no shot against the Elite, okay? You got Kenny Omega.
No. I'm not saying it's a shot against the Elite. I'm just saying if I would have said to you after the CM Punk shit that Colt Cabana would have gotten the title shot before the Elite would, you would have said that's insane.
Yeah, but, I mean, I wouldn't you had to suspend these guys, though. You had to send Punk away. So
they should have suspended Colt Cabana for having a bank account with his mom.
Okay, look, sometimes you get on hard times, okay? You know, I ain't gonna knock nobody for doing what you got to do, okay? Motherfuckers, do what you got to do in 2022, man. You need some help, holler at your boy. I'll be here to help you out and listen to you, but I ain't giving you no money. That being said, I just think that ultimately this boils down to CM Punk. For me, personally, it has nothing to do with Colt Cabana. It has nothing to do with the Elite. If CM Punk just does a couple of things differently, it changes everything. If he doesn't dive into the crowd after winning the title, it changes things. If he doesn't come up on that stand, on that press conference, and runs down everybody and their mama, it changes things. Tony Khan is right there too, so he is culpable on what, at a certain point, he could have shut that shit down, just like, look, press conference over, CM Punk, you're excused, or whatever the case may be. And he didn't do it. So now you're just allowing somebody, Kyrie Irving. We were talking about Kyrie Irving before the podcast started. Kyrie Irving didn't get any kind of real punishment until today. He got suspended for 5 games from the Brooklyn Nets without pay. That's after the fact. It's too late. As soon as he did it, that's when you lay the hammer down. I don't have kids, but I know if my kids start acting a motherfucking fool, I ain't going to wait 5 days until after the fact. You got to do it right then and there. Otherwise, that kid's like, oh, wait, I can do this? I'll do it all the time. It's too late. It's the same thing that they did with CM Punk. Tony Khan let CM Punk say whatever the fuck he wanted to say for whatever reason. Maybe he's the highest paid guy. Maybe he is the guy. You can't let this motherfucker say whatever he wants. And then from that point, the chaos that ensues is the chaos that ensues. But for me, it's not about Colt Cabana. It's not about the Elite. It's about CM Punk, period.
Since we were on the subject, do you think Punk goes to WWE?
I knew somebody was going to ask that shit. No. Vice is saying, yeah. I'm saying no. Especially with the guy that's in charge. Okay? Maybe you could, if CM Punk could talk to Vince. Vince has a soft side. You know, whether or not we see it or not, he does have that soft side. He lets guys come back after a certain amount of time where, you know, time heals all wounds. He let fucking Ultimate Warrior come back. He let fucking, Kurt Angle, name the guy of choice, Bret Hart, every guy that did him dirty, Hulk Hogan, they eventually come back. Triple H is going to be different because this is what, 100 days in? I think I saw that the other day, 100 days into the Triple H regime. We don't know what he's going to do. You know, a lot of this shit is in moving parts. The only reason I say no is the person that's in charge. Triple H and CM Punk just don't get along. And now I just watch you implode the AEW locker room. Why do I want that headache? Fuck, if I'm Triple H, you can kiss my ass, man. Go do whatever the Stars TV show is that's on wrestling. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head right now. Heels. Go do heels. Get the fuck out of my face.
I think if he stays in wrestling, he goes back to the E. But I don't think that he's going to stay in wrestling. And here's why I think that he will. That's for business.
You think he goes back eventually?
If he stays in wrestling, I think he goes back to WWE because shitload of money. Imagine the pop. It'd be bigger than the AEW pop. They'd have him do it in Saudi Arabia or some shit in front of 100,000 people on Friday morning at 11 a.m.
You better fly his ass out right now.
Or they'd put him on, Raw or SmackDown or something for a rating. But it would be insane. And also, if you're CM Punk, your legacy is that you were a fucking asshole and you can't work with people. And a way to repair that is to go and work with a dude where it seems very obvious that they don't vibe. And also, if you're Triple H, it shows that you can do business with people that you don't even like, which I think is good for Triple H. I think they both do it. And if he's interested in going back to wrestling, I think it happens. Have him do a Cody angle. It'd be fucking great way to keep Cody from the title, both of them from the title.
My instinct is to say, not a chance. That there's no chance that CM Punk ever goes back to WWE. I think that this past year has taught me to never say, like they always say never in wrestling. We've seen Shawn Michaels fight in Saudi Arabia since he said no more matches forever. I mean, and then we saw Cody go to WWE. When we heard rumors of that happening, we were like, no fucking way. Vince has stepped down this year. CM Punk going back to WWE doesn't seem impossible to me.
Shinsuke's going on to Noah. There's something to be said about that.
Yeah, but WWE doesn't see Noah as a competitor.
I can't say I disagree with that.
Does Noah run shows in the U.S.?
No, but they have some talent that's over in the U.S.
Okay. I get your point. But I think that they just see them as such small potatoes that it does.
I think they're smaller than New Japan. I think New Japan is more of the bigger threat than
no doubt.
Noah is.
Noah, duh. But but like CM Punk, they could have like some kind. They could have, and I got Bret Hart on the brain today because I watched the Bret Hart Broken Skull session, which I had never seen before, and I didn't feel like watching. I was like, this is going to be boring. I've heard it all, and then I watch it, and I was like completely enwrapped by it. But it does kind of seem like maybe CM Punk and Triple H kind of have a mini Bret Hart, Vince McMahon thing going on. And if Bret Hart can come back and have a WrestleMania match with Vince McMahon, then by the way. Yeah, it was terrible, but they still did business. Then CM Punk coming back to WWE and having a match with Triple H or whatever, or not a match with Triple H, but maybe with like a surrogate,
someone that's
Umaga or somebody like that.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah.
Then, man, I hope Zach is on mute, man. I've dropped a couple of bangers here. I thought he'd be laughing.
I feel bad. I actually am laughing, but I am 100% on mute.
Then I could definitely see CM Punk coming back to WWE. I would put it. I don't know what Zach would put it as a percentage because I was inside pissing, but I would put it at probably like a 15% chance.
I was going to say that low.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. It just doesn't seem very likely to me. I'll say that also because I also know that because CM Punk has a reputation for being hard to work with because he has earned that reputation. He is.
I'm an asshole. Why? Because I'm an asshole.
I mean, there's no other way to describe it. Jason, you and I watched him on The Challenge, and he was hard to work with those guys.
And that's a sad state of affairs because
watching Bananas run him down was like one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
It's hard to watch because, especially when you're CM Punk. I know how you can go on the mic.
It was
Why are you not doing this right here?
It was like being at the grocery store and watching an old man need help with his grocery bags or something. It was like, oh my god, this is just.
That's like just
how the mighty have fallen. Yeah.
Give me the card.
Yeah, I'll take it, Earl. So.
No. You scan it first and then put it in the bag.
But I mean, that's what makes wrestling so much fun. Is that we can have these conversations. It actually is a pretty fun conversation to have.
You can never say never in wrestling, because if you were to say never, you never would have thought that Katsuyori Shibata would make his wrestling return against Orange Cassidy with Mike Tyson on commentary on AEW Rampage this Friday.
So
they better not have Mike Tyson on that match.
So let's get there. So Blackpool Combat Club comes out and fights after Jericho and his homies try to beat up the ROH announcer. Then we have a triple threat match, which is Orange Cassidy versus Luchasaurus.
That's all you got to say about that?
What else would I say?
I would assume that, it's a big-ass, mosh pit. This is what you don't like about AEW, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but you got to pick your battles, man. What am I going to say? It turned into a big schmoz. That never bothers...
The biggest schmoz of the night.
That never bothers me as much as the schmoz at the end of the night. The schmoz going home, it always bothers me the most.
Okay.
So that's personally...
Okay.
But, I mean, I also don't want to be a broken record on here,
When I saw that, I was like, ooh, I can't wait to hear what Bill thinks about that.
I mean...
The schmoz at the end of the night is definitely, on Tony Khan's Pornhub favorites.
Yes.
He loves it.
Yeah. It's like, recommend it for you. It's like WCW 98.
Exactly.
WCW 99. WCW 98. Alternate. So we have Orange Cassidy versus Luchasaurus versus Ray Fenix. What was I can't be mad at this match at all. I enjoyed it. You didn't like it?
No.
Orange Cassidy ends up going over. I actually liked Luchasaurus a lot in this match. I thought that he was really good in this match.
He was the good big man that did all the heavy lift and throwing guys around.
I mean, fun match. The match that you would expect these three guys to have. It could have gone longer for as far as I'm concerned. But the real newsworthy thing is that Orange Cassidy goes over, and then Shibata comes out with the best friends and, new
Rocky.
friend of the show, Rocky Romero. We were just talking to him a couple.
I bought him a drink.
Yeah, I know. One Saturday, you're at Pops in Sauget, Illinois, having Jay Bell buying you a drink, and the next
That's my dog.
and the next Wednesday, you're showing up on AEW Dynamite with Shibata
You're welcome.
in a major angle. Super. I mean, it only makes the guy seem cooler. Like he's a part of it. He is current. Shibata comes out, and Shibata and Orange Cassidy are going to have a match tomorrow night for the All Atlantic Championship. I read on the internet in the dirt sheets, and I think this was reported by Meltzer. Zach can probably confirm this, that Shibata came to the U.S. and had 2 dream matches, and they were Orange Cassidy and Bryan Danielson, which is fucking really funny and very.
Okay. Let's make it happen.
I don't want to generalize, but very Japanese, because they do have a particular love for the comedy, or like they love the bizarre nature of professional wrestling, the absurdity of it.
CDDT.
The thing that I always talk about why I like wrestling is the absurdity of it, and they certainly have a love for that. That wasn't the racist thing that I was alluding to earlier. Actually, I never got around to it. I was going to say that Sonata's beard is so white he's starting to look like Pai Mei from Kill Bill 2.
Unfucking.
And I don't know if that's racist, but it feels like
if you gotta ask, it's racist.
it feels racist.
If you have to ask the question, it's racist.
But man, what's with that beard, man? Looks like he's just like. I know it's an audio medium, but like that thing that Pai Mei always does, which is like play with his beard while he like yells at Uma Thurman and smacks her hands. Anyway, Shibata is fighting Orange Cassidy. What do you think about this, Zach?
It is absolutely wild. It makes sense, though. I'm thrilled about the match. I mean, I can't see Shibata winning. That would be pretty insane. I don't know if New Japan wants him wrestling in the ring, because last time he went into business for himself and he did the match and they're almost just like, well, fine, like go do it, somewhere else or go wrestle somewhere else. That's fine. But I mean, he's invaluable to them as a trainer, so they probably want to keep him happy. But it's gonna be super fun. I'm tuning in to goddamn Rampage, and I mean that's something special because that doesn't happen all that often.
No, yeah.
I'm a very busy man on Friday night. Huge social life over here.
I'll just say this, and we can move on afterwards.
I'm the quarterback of the show. We'll move on when I say it. Jason, give me your thoughts, and then we can move on.
They paid off the Forbidden Door save after the Will Ospreay match, so now this comes full circle. You owe me one. Now this is my chip that I'm gonna cash in. I want a shot at the title. I agree with Two Beer. It would be hard to see him winning the title, but Bryan Danielson Shibata, that sounds fucking amazing. Orange Cassidy and Shibata sounds amazing too, but obviously Bryan Danielson is the much bigger name and will garner more attention.
Danielson and Shibata in a headbutts only match.
Oh, come on, man.
Right.
Come on, man.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
No, dog.
Be funny if they just opened up with a couple of headbutts and then they both got double counted out.
It'd be like,
what the fuck is this Mike Tyson bullshit? Mike Tyson's getting mad on TV, on commentary. Like, dude, what the hell is this? It's like 2 minutes.
God damn, Jason's doing impressions now. I don't think I've ever heard Jason do an impression.
He's heating up.
you're like Tai Chi and Ibushi, but only with headbutts.
Right. All right, so that's fun with Shibata. So we're going to have, next segment was Jade Cargill versus Marina Shafir. Jade Cargill goes over fairly quick. Nyla Rose comes out and yells at her a whole bunch. Thoughts on this, Zach?
Didn't watch it, but wouldn't have even if I was watching.
It's a little disappointing that Jade Cargill hasn't been on television as much lately. I don't know if that has something to do with what's going on. Maybe she has some stuff going on or whatever, but she is, man, I almost said she was a commodity, but that really seems,
Man, that's bad.
that seems racist. Yeah. She is,
but she's a star.
She's a star, man. She's an unbelievable talent, and I think that personally, I think that she should be in the, they're keeping her kind of in like the Cody sphere. Remember how Cody like had his own stuff going on all the time? It had nothing to do with like the rest of the card. That kind of feels how they're dealing with Jade Cargill right now. Would you agree with that, Zach?
Yep, 100%. It's like it's kind of what you do when you don't want somebody in the title picture, and that's exactly how it was with Cody too. So, I mean, she definitely kind of needs to break out of that bubble. I don't like that she doesn't have a belt either. I never liked that gimmick. You'll never find me on record saying one time that it's cool that somebody stole a belt.
Yeah, it's lame. It is more annoying than anything right now that Jade Cargill is not carrying her own belt. Jason, what do you think?
Obviously, we did Marina versus Jade already, so
We're talking about right now.
No, I'm just saying we did a match with them
Gotcha.
already.
Yep.
And that wasn't really good. So I would have liked to think the focus would have been on the match, but then they had Nyla and Vicky on the ramp or whatever. Just have them on commentary. If you want to do that, I don't have a problem with it. Just do it on commentary. It literally takes the focus away from the match. Nyla Rose, I think, is a big enough star in AEW where you don't have to have her snatch the title. Just have her go run up like she's done any other time for a title match, and just demand a title shot. She has enough cachet, at least in AEW, to do that. It is what it is. I mean, let's have them wrestle and just get it over with.
I think if you're going to have Vicky Guerrero on your roster and managing your talent, don't let the talent talk, and that goes for Nyla Rose also. I
like Nyla Rose on the mic. I think she does a better job than I anticipated.
Oh, okay. So the next thing I have blank, I think I had to go back and watch this today. I think what came next was the House of Black vignette, which
yes.
Unbelievable how often AEW uses the surprise guest thing or the surprise appearance thing, and then they go ahead and they just tell you that Malachi Black is still with the company?
Well, he told you that. He said that on Instagram. That's not.
I'm not on Instagram.
Okay, well, newsflash. He went on Instagram and basically said that he was not leaving AEW. He wasn't going to WWE.
He said, Bill Veggie, I'm not leaving AEW. It was on his Instagram Live.
Really?
Clearly, you're not on Instagram, so none of this matters.
Nobody tweeted me about it.
Well, Twitter, Instagram. Never mind. Two different.
One makes me feel bad on purpose. The other one makes me feel bad accidentally. So I stick with the one that makes me feel bad on purpose, which is Twitter. All right, and then we have the main event. Unless there was something I forgot, the main event is Brian Cage versus Samoa Joe. And I'm here to tell you guys, I just think that Brian Cage is the fucking elephant's eyebrows, man. He is the bee's knees. He is the cat's pajamas.
Elephant's eyebrows?
Yeah, I saw it on a show last night. I thought it was good. I'm going to use it.
Okay.
I think that Brian Cage fucking rules. I think he's a good babyface. I think he's a good heel. I think he's a good wrestler. He did a gut wrench powerbomb to Samoa Joe last night that was literally like, people talk about feats of strength. That looked hard, and he did it like it didn't. It was nothing, and it didn't look like Samoa. I don't think Samoa Joe was sandbagging him. I just think Samoa Joe is fucking massive, and it was really impressive. I'm a big Brian Cage fan. Brian Cage, Samoa Joe goes over. Brian Cage passes out. We get what are they called? The Kingdom?
Embassy.
They're called the Embassy?
Embassy. Prince Nana is their leader.
Okay. So they come out. I mean, there is no prince in an embassy. There's a prince in a kingdom. There ain't no prince in an embassy.
You asked the question, brother. I just answered it.
Maybe Ambassador Nana would make more sense. But
I answered the question.
So another one of those redirects that AEW does. You think that it's over, and then Powerhouse Hobbs comes out and fucks Samoa Joe up. And I am here for a Powerhouse Hobbs Samoa Joe feud.
Actually, Powerhouse Hobbs is probably going after Wardlow because he held the AEW. Or the
he fucked up Wardlow
after the fact.
Wait, who'd he fuck up?
The Embassy comes in, they jump everybody.
Right.
But Brian Cage is still focused on Samoa Joe. Wardlow gets worked over by Powerhouse Hobbs. And at the end, Powerhouse Hobbs is holding the TNT title up over the fallen Wardlow. And that's how it ends.
Which I'm here for. I think it's cool. This is one of those cool AEW things where they actually end the show on somebody that isn't predictable. They ended the show on Powerhouse Hobbs, and Powerhouse Hobbs is a real talent, and I think he's got big upside. And it made me think, man, where the fuck is Ricky Starks? That being said, I like that they ended on Powerhouse Hobbs. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, would you have Hobbs go over Wardlow?
Yes.
I think I would too.
Yeah. Wardlow's over. Wardlow's pretty much a made guy.
He just got the title. I mean, well, I shouldn't say he just got the title, but he's just now starting to defend the title a little more. Look, I like Powerhouse Hobbs too, but this goes back to my acclaimed FT argument. Wardlow is over. There's no question about it.
Yes.
Powerhouse Hobbs needs to get over.
Yes.
I don't think he needs to win the title to do so. Brian Cage, and I agree with you, Bill, everybody gives Wardlow all kinds of credit about, how great he is in the ring. Brian Cage was doing this before Wardlow was even thought about. He can throw guys around. He can jump over the top rope. Wardlow does those things, but we not giving Brian Cage any love for this? So that's my first problem with this. Brian Cage deserves some more love than what he's gotten.
They can't. I mean, enough people have belts in the AEW. You saying they need another belt for Brian Cage?
No, I'm just saying.
Who's got the FTW belt?
In the mortar words of Mandy Rose, put some respect on that man's name. FTW title is still with Hook.
The immortal words of Mandy Rose.
It's for you, okay? You're the NXT guy around here, all right, motherfucker?
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Why can't I? You're the only guy that watch NXT around here?
No. I'm just doing that. I think you should leave quotes. What do you think about it, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, you're right about Brian Cage for sure. It's a very competitive landscape out there. I mean, they got a lot of top guys in AEW, and you know they have a lot of belts, but not all of them matter. It's like it's kind of tough. I imagine it's tough to stand out, and I think Brian Cage, as huge as he is, literally, and as great as he looks, and the dynamic things that he does, for some reason, has a hard time standing out. And I don't know what it is.
Not for this podcaster, but maybe for others.
No, I was getting ready to say, when you got somebody that's 6'4", 275 that can go over the top rope like Roman Reigns, Undertaker, Wardlow, any of these other guys. Oh, you dirty.
He's not paralyzed or anything, is he? He walked out of his own recognizance.
No, he didn't. He had to have help out of the fucking arena.
It was a bad looking spot.
Yes, it
okay,
was.
all right. Maybe that was too far. My bad.
Give a thumbs up.
My bad.
I'm okay, guys. As he gimping up the ramp, I'm like, oh, R-Truth, come on.
All right, so that's going to do it for our AEW recap. Any final thoughts? We're still looking.
No MJF?
No MJF, that's fine. Give him the fucking
No, it's a good thing.
Yes,
Sell the injury from the week before.
I totally agree. Let's get to that.
Full Gear is next Saturday.
That was November 19th.
19th. 2 Saturdays from now. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. So your birthday's on a Sunday, huh? Scorpio season, baby.
Hey, man.
Scorpio season.
I didn't want him to start bragging about it, but yes.
My dude.
Yes, it is that time. I'm going to say there's going to be some great wrestling.
I'm going to be 43. Jason's going to be older than that. Let's get to that. 3 counts.
I was waiting. You see me over here like, don't you say no stupid shit. Don't say no stupid shit.
All right, Jason, what's the 3 count?
3 counts. We're going to do a WWE recap and leading into the Crown Jewel predictions. Here's the spoiler alert. I won't even call it a spoiler alert. Your boy, JCB, watched a little NXT last week. So just to placate your boy Bill over here, because he ran me down and talk about you watch this, you watch that. I didn't watch Halloween Havoc. I got Vikingo and Ray Phoenix in, but I was like, you know what? I'm off Tuesday night. It's about 6:45. I basically caught up with all the little shit that I need to watch for the pod and for my personal pleasure. Let's watch some little NXT. I'll just say this. The synopsis that Bill gave for Halloween Havoc, there is the highs, the lows, and shit in the middle. That was, for me, watching Tuesday night's NXT. For me, the highs, Braun Breaker, absolutely incredible. I haven't seen him in, it feels like 6 or 7 months, and he just looks like a very polished athlete in the ring. To me, it's a matter of time how you get him onto the main roster. I would love to see him at Royal Rumble just as a nice little preview of what the things could be. Not asking him to win it, but I would love to see him in it. The bad, people I just didn't know. When you go away for 10 months and then come back, it's hard to jump back into storylines, especially with storylines I don't understand or may not know the characters to. So that was kind of a difficult transition, but not too difficult. I mean, it's
like when you work at a place for a long time and then you go there and there's just a bunch of new faces and you're like, hey, where's my friend that's going to give me a free drink? Who the fuck are you people?
That's Jack Patrick on Saturday night sometimes.
You're like, hey, Mackenzie, I was a big deal around here.
Yeah, Bill Veggie. No, never mind. Okay. So in that scenario, it's kind of hard to try to jump back into it. And then some of the ugly where it's just campy to me sometimes, man. It's too WWE to me sometimes, and that's not a bad thing. Sports entertainment has its place in wrestling.
Some of it's real bad. Some of it's real
bad,
good.
and some of it's real good. Duke Hudson to me was kind of like a low point. But then,
well, they're doing the Chase U thing with him. I'll admit, I didn't watch NXT this week.
Holy shit!
It's probably because you watched it.
Right? No, I didn't even tweet it. I didn't even. He doesn't even follow me anymore. But I didn't even tweet this shit. I was like, I'm gonna be real sneaky about this shit. I'm just gonna watch it. I'm gonna take some notes, and then he's gonna watch it. And I'm like, oh, guess who watched it?
No, I followed you again after the G1 was over. I started following you again.
Okay, never mind. See, I still did right.
I think. I don't know. For some reason, my wrestling Twitter feed has been really peaceful and enjoyable lately. Maybe I don't follow you anymore.
Right.
I'm
if
looking.
you guys both would have watched it, the ratings for USA Network would have spiked in old dudes in St. Louis. They'd have been like, "Oh my God,
this motherfucker here." Get him.
Hey, everybody, even though there's tons of podcasts to listen to out there, so weird. So
to me, real quick, and then
what do you think of Pretty Deadly?
I like Pretty Deadly. I knew of them in NXT UK.
What do you think of Grayson Waller? We'll just do a quick hit on it.
Heat Magnet.
You like him, right?
Yeah, total Heat Magnet.
Okay, so we didn't talk about this last week. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's daughter is the newest member of the Schism, Ava Raine. She cut a promo this week.
Right.
I heard it was okay. What do you think of it?
It basically explains, why she went over to the Schism. Is that their name? I'm just having a hard time watching, grizzled young veterans being a part of this nonsense.
Okay.
That's just me.
Let me say this. As somebody who has watched NXT many weeks in a row and only missed it this week, I'll say this. The Schism is awful.
Okay, thank you. That makes me feel better.
Maybe the worst act in televised wrestling that there is right now. I'm not talking about like shit that's not on TV. I'm just talking about AEW, WWE, Impact.
Yeah.
Like the Schism is awful. And I don't think that Joe Gacy is not a talented dude. I'm just saying that this character is
brutal,
bad, and putting grizzled young veterans with him is not something that I'm into. And putting Ava Raine, I know that she's super young, and I
gotta start somewhere,
and I expect her to do well because nobody likes telling The Rock's daughter no. I'm sure. Maybe The Rock talks to HBK and says, treat her like you would treat her anybody else, but he's not going to because she is the daughter of the biggest star in Hollywood.
Yep.
He doesn't make good movies anymore, but or maybe never did actually.
Whoa, hey.
The best movie he ever made was Pain and Gain.
Come find him, Rock.
Come find me, Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, there it is. Go. Hey, Rock, I know where he lives. It's in St. Charles. I'll DM the address here later on. We can come together.
Come on, BFR, Rock.
Right. Before you kick his ass, we just need you to say, this is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and you're listening to Band From Ringside.
Let's talk about Black Adam.
Right.
Actually, all I want to talk about is Pain and Gain. I think that movie fucking rips.
Dude, you are just so on that.
Have you ever seen it? Oh, my God. That movie is so good.
Okay, fine.
I'm not even being funny about it.
I will watch it this weekend.
That's a legit good movie.
I will watch it this weekend.
That'll be the last I talk about it till next week.
Yeah, until I watch it next week.
So this is the 3 count. You want to talk about NXT? Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Bloodline. Actually, SmackDown came to St. Louis on Friday night, and
it's going to be in St. Louis tomorrow night too because they taped 2 shows.
Oh, okay, even better. But in this scenario, for me, the highlight of
there's only one thing to talk about.
All of WWE for this week, and that's not even excluding Crown Jewel, the opening segment for SmackDown. The match was good.
Brawling Brutes versus Sammy and Solo.
It was a good match. Fair enough. Sammy and Solo lose the match because Jay and Sammy have miscommunication. And then, of course, Roman Reigns comes down and he demands there's going to be peace in the bloodline, and you two jokers figure this shit out. Sami Zayn, of course, comes willingly. Hey, I don't know what I did, but I'm here to, fall in the sword. I'm here to put the hand out. Shake my hand. Jay, shake my hand. Jay, hot-head as usual. I don't like you, Sammy. You ain't a part of my family. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck what the tribal chief says. And when he said those words, the look on Roman Reigns' face was absolutely priceless. Roman Reigns gets a little, honorary mention in this shit for the fact that
Oh,
how he
you
just
think?
reacted to not even the laughing part, but just how he reacted to it. And then after everybody's breaking down, Jay's trying to walk away. He's like, "No, Jay, come on over here."
Oh.
It was so good. Where now literally the word Usi is going to be a part of our lingo for the next 10 or 15 years when it comes to wrestling. And it started right here in St. Louis. It's a beautiful fucking thing. I love the fact that now they are going to push back plans for KO and Sami Zayn to be a tag team because the bloodline with Sami Zayn is so
you gotta ride
white hot. You gotta ride it into the ground.
You gotta ride it.
I don't care. Look, like I said, I don't want this to end anytime soon. But to me, that segment on SmackDown where everybody, and I was waiting, I wanted the camera to go to Solo Sikoa, and I said this to you, Vice. I wanted the camera to go to Solo because he's the only one that you never see break. Everybody else breaks.
No, you know,
don't see him break.
I don't think
That's what I wanted to see.
I don't think that he breaks just because he's. I don't know. Maybe I just believe the character too much. I heard an interview with him a couple weeks ago with Peter Rosenberg, and I just think that guy is actually like super fucking dumb, like with no personality. Like I don't even think he got the joke. Come find me, Solo Sikoa.
Jesus
but
Christ. The bloodline. You might as well just say bloodline. Bloodline, come find Bill Baggy.
No, but I'm just joking around. Solo Sikoa, come on that BFR. But okay, so I'm going to ask Zach this because I know Zach watched this segment for sure. Zach, do you think that they knew that Sami Zayn was going to use the word Usi?
Definitely not.
Because it really
No way.
it broke everybody. Like like I can't think of another segment in wrestling history that was so funny that guys were supposed to be up there being serious like laughed. Because usually it's like, you know, Kurt Angle was really funny, Edge and Christian were really funny, but they were like supposed to be funny. But this was supposed to be a serious segment, and the drama of it was real. You know, like Jay saying, "I don't give a fuck," or "I don't care what the tribal chief thinks," and the crowd goes, "Oh!" And
I was like, "Uh-oh!"
And you know what?
I'm at home like, "Uh-oh!"
And that really
Let me pack a bowl. This is getting ready to get good.
That really says something about the act of the bloodline, though, that they earned that. Like that was a real thing that they earned because nobody had gone against the tribal chief in a long time. Roman Reigns.
Since Jimmy came back,
right? So, all right, Zach, give me your thoughts. Do you think that you don't think that they expected him to say the word Usi? Give me your thoughts, please. It was hilarious segment.
Jay, the look that Jay gave him whenever he said he's not being very Uzi, he looked at him like, I can't.
And that
believe you
motherfucker
just
said it
fucking
straight. Said
that.
it with a straight face. I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Sami Zayn is so good, but like everybody in this ended up like turning this into a remarkable segment. It's one of the most memorable segments. I mean, it's one of the best segments on TV this whole year, and part of it is the build up to the bloodline just being so good and Sami Zayn being so good, but everybody was fantastic in this. But no, I don't think they thought he was going to say the word Usi.
By any means, I totally agree. It's
Although I think he said it on the way out to the ring, like they did a little interview segment before the match, and I think he said it because I had seen the segment before I saw that, and he was like, "Let's get Uzi!" Like as he walked in the curtain.
It's not. I agree with you.
That was a completely involuntary laugh by me.
It's not the first time
I
that
did not
they
expect
said
to laugh at
Uzi
that
on WWE TV. It was just for me. When he said it right there in that moment, it was like the tension was high. You already had Jay and Roman kind of now getting ready to beef again. They already had a previous beef. Sammy's coming in to try to be the peacemaker, and the word he used was Uzi.
They really like
that was it. I was like, dude, I'm done.
I'm looking forward to seeing how they capitalize on this, and I'm having faith that they're going to capitalize on it in a real way. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't think that they know what it's going to be.
No, not at this point.
But they really need to keep ratcheting it up. And if ratcheting it up means that they start calling him Sammy Uso and they strip the Uso name away from Jay,
done.
I am here for it. Like, if Jay's gonna be like the little pesky guy that runs, or like if Jay has to start wearing the honorary Uso shirt.
Oh my god!
It's just Sammy Uso. Oh my god! And just
Jay
ride that
Zayn.
motherfucker all the way to WrestleMania, and then have Sami Zayn win it off for Roman Reigns. God, it would be. I mean, wouldn't that be the best case scenario if they could do that and do it compellingly?
Oh my god! I don't think he's okay.
If you have not seen this segment,
There's 15 million people that saw it at this point.
There is something, but there's something
Probably more
about
than that.
there's something about people trying not to laugh and laughing that just makes you laugh. Like it's
It's
When
one of the best.
SNL skits when they break.
yeah,
So
it's
good.
it's inescapable. And this is no different. Like, them trying to look hard as fuck.
Jay, I felt the most bad for because the spotlight is on him.
Oh, and he kept burying his head. And, like, at one point, he had his head buried in his face.
I'm like,
and
is he crying?
No, and you could see him, like, look back at Sammy and do something. Like, he was probably like,
Yeah,
what
man,
the fuck
fuck you, dude. Why you doing me like this? Yeah, and the more and more everybody started to break is the more and more St. Louis is just like, ooh, see. This whole thing was a beautiful train wreck of just, we always want to have things just happen organically.
Right. And
This
if you
was
put,
the
if you put
perfect example of a segment, a person, anything you want to call it. They all got over organically because it wasn't supposed to happen, and then it happened, and everybody's talking about it.
It was the perfect example of putting people in the position to succeed, and they're going to succeed. And then it's also wrestling, so weird shit's going to happen, and then that's going to accidentally get over. And now everybody's chanting Usi at those people all the time.
Saudi Arabia's going to have a good-ass time on Saturday.
Sammy's not going to be there.
Yeah, Sammy's not going to be there.
It don't matter. If you see the Usos, you know what you thinking.
Also, those.
Stop. I'm not having an atomic bomb coming over here tonight, or nuclear bomb. Just chill out.
You think Saudi Arabia has nukes? Okay, buddy.
This conversation is degraded.
All right. This kind of, but this did overshadow what was the biggest segment of the night, which was the Maximum Male Models they went. New Day went over clean over Maximum Male Models. And then you have you also had, okay. So what do we think about the Bray Wyatt segment with Uncle Howdy? Are we still on the same page? I feel like this.
Yes. The fact that I had to watch Raw to understand what he was saying after the fact is a problem. It's so garbled. It's so distorted. I don't know what the fuck he's saying. I want to know. This is where you get me to invest. And I don't know.
FBI background check is going to take actually 3 weeks because all the FBI is trying to figure out the Bray Wyatt promo.
It's literally, you need closed captioning to watch the second part of the segment.
God damn, Zach, that's a funny joke.
I'm trying. I want to get into it, but it's so hard, and they're not letting me listen to both sides. I get Bray. I'm investing on the Bray side. The Uncle Howie thing is just, it's so over the top.
We should also say that, okay, I have nothing else to say about it. It's like I'm just still waiting for it to intrigue me. It just hasn't yet. We really are in the minority, though, us three.
Yes.
No, like everybody else is like, oh, this Bray Wyatt stuff. Oh, this is so good. This
Okay.
is, all right. Well,
Yeah.
I like watching guys fake fight. Why don't you show me some of that?
He's wearing too many clothes. He's in his underwear wrestling another man.
We had the return of Emma this week against Ronda Rousey, a friend of the show. She is friends with Jinder Mahal. She is
Friend of a friend.
She's worked Grand Ole Wrestling. Nice to see her back. She had a pretty good showing against Ronda Rousey.
Apparently signed with WWE after the fact.
Looks like Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are a tandem now because Shayna Baszler's out there beating up Natty for Ronda's benefit.
Ronda needs a heater. Shayna Baszler's a good
Does
heater.
Ronda need a heater? She's supposed to be the baddest woman on the planet, but okay. I mean, I'm just telling you what they tell me. What? Don't make that face at me.
Yeah,
She doesn't need to hear.
What do you think,
but-
Zach?
I think Ken Shamrock should have really had like somebody like Kevin Nash standing behind him. Really needed a heater.
He's heating up.
He's exactly right.
Okay, that's the same thing. It's the same thing.
I know, but it's stupid.
I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying it's the
No,
same
you said
guy.
she needs a heater. That's what you said.
HBK.
She looks cold. That's what it was. He
You don't want
talking about.
you don't want Ronda to have taking pins unnecessarily. That's where Shayna Baszler comes in.
I don't think that's okay. All right, okay. I'm interested to see where it goes. I hope it ends up with a Ronda Rousey Shayna Baszler match somewhere down the line.
2 years at WrestleMania.
What?
2 years at WrestleMania.
No, this year at WrestleMania.
No.
Yeah, they're not going to wait 2 years.
So let's get this straight. Let's
Okay.
get this straight.
Yeah.
So
I'm straight as fuck.
So we're gonna have in one form or fashion a Ronda Rousey Shayna Baszler match at WrestleMania. Not Becky Lynch, not Charlotte.
If not before, yeah.
Okay, I would say before. Fine, but
You
not
said-
at WrestleMania.
I thought you said 2 years in WrestleMania.
You wanted to say WrestleMania. I just threw the shit out
I
there.
didn't say WrestleMania. I just said sometime sooner than later. Anyway, did you guys watch?
I'm pretty sure it'll be more at like Backlash.
I love Backlash. I love Battleground.
15
Queen
months,
of the Wing,
15
baby.
months from now at Backlash.
It's Queen of the Wing, baby.
All right, Zach, did you watch Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory on Raw?
No. Although I heard that it was actually like a really good match.
Yeah.
So
I thought that Austin Theory gained a lot in defeat in this match. Seth Rollins made him look like a stud, but Seth Rollins pulled out all those stops on him. Like, really, really, you could tell that Seth Rollins was working hard to make Austin Theory look good, and it worked. And Austin Theory can look good if he's working with somebody like Seth Rollins. It was a
dude, if you want Austin Aries to be, a top guy, you put him in a long feud with a guy like Seth Rollins and make him wrestle all the time on the house shows, and he'll be good pretty quick. Or he won't be, in which case you know that he probably shouldn't be a top guy.
Did you say Austin Aries?
He said Austin Aries.
Jesus. What is going
Good,
on
yes,
here tonight? Is
yes,
it full moon or something?
Yes, I'm not the only one going down. Come
Unprofessional bullshit.
So we got The Miz versus Ali. Not going to talk about it. Damian Priest versus Carl Anderson. Who cares? Judgment Day beatdown. MVP versus Omos. We'll cover it during our Crown Jewel predictions. JBL comes out with Corbin. JBL really doing a great job. Enjoyed it quite a bit.
I don't want to.
I'm a
don't
fan
want to
of
like
wrestling,
it.
though.
I don't want to like it, but JBL gets heat. I don't think you need Corbin or JBL to get Corbin heat, but I will give credit where the credit is due. JBL is perfect, especially coming into Texas this week. They stomp Oklahoma. He comes out and basically nods on Texas, and then the next thing you know, it's switched. You guys are so flakes. Fuck you guys. Bring out Baron Corbin. I don't think you need JBL for that, but it's different. I mean, I think we've done everything you could possibly do with Baron Corbin, though. He's been King of the Ring. He's been Happy Corbin. He's been Sad Corbin. He's been Rich Corbin. So, I mean, at a certain point, JBL is probably the next best step to hopefully get him over where he's like a mid-card champion. I can't believe I'm saying this shit. I must be drunk. He's hopefully a mid-card champion. He can, be the gatekeeper for the mid-card for a little bit. I can't. All bullshit aside, okay, I do like Baron Corbin. He's a good wrestler. I just hate the character. Except for Sad Corbin when he was busted in Vegas and he's just trying to just trying to find the next meal. That character was the funniest of all characters, probably because he was out there all fucked up and just trying to find the next meal. So, that might be just me being a bad person, but neither here nor there. Like I said, for me, I like the wrestler, just the characters minus the NXT Lone Wolf character have just not been my cup of tea.
You would have a hard time pressing me to give you my favorite Baron Corbin character because they're all tied for first. because I love him that much. Except for when he had long hair. He looked like shit.
So that was the NXT Baron Corbin.
He was a wet guy. You know what a wet guy is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a wet guy.
Yeah, you know, it's like Rouge, Triple H, these guys, you know.
Well, it's like Brandon Crawford on the Dodgers, like fucking Brandon Marsh on the Phillies. Like just fucking wet guys. In fact, on Twitter last night, I put my all-time top 4 wet guys. Mount Rushmore of wet guys.
Oh, Jesus.
You ready for it?
Okay.
Mitch Williams of the Phillies. Razor Ramon.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Big time wet guy. Meatloaf. And John the Baptist.
281, where this shit goes left.
My top four
where the BFR
top
hits
4
the
wet guys of all time.
iceberg.
Okay,
What are you saying? Actually, I don't know the word.
wet guys. So there was this old Deadspin writer when Deadspin was good. His name is Drew Margery. And he always talked about how every baseball team had a wet guy now. And if you watch it, like every baseball team does have a guy who has like had long hair and he's just wet all the time. You're like, why is this guy wet all the time? Like, does he have Crisco in his hair? But like,
that's what I thought you said. And that's so good.
He talks about how every baseball team is a wet guy. And so I've just been talking about wet guys ever since. And
Razor Ramon's got to be on the Mount Rushmore of wet guys.
Yeah,
for sure.
I put on Twitter that Ultimate Warrior and my buddy Jeff Jarrett actually is his real name. He was like, Razor Ramon was way wetter than Ultimate Warrior. And I was like, God damn, you're right. Razor Ramon is like the ultimate wet guy.
He just oozed machismo, and it was in liquid form.
So wet. I just think that John the Baptist, because I was like, Jesus was a wet guy too, and I was like, John the Baptist had to be a wet guy, right?
That's really funny. That's so funny.
It's a great name for a wet guy too, John the Baptist. Like he's just baptizing people in his fucking Crisco in his hair.
I'm out of shots. I'm just like, I need alcohol. I'm like scrambling for anything.
All right, so
I thought you was leaving for real. All right, dog.
All right, we'll get back to Dry Guys. Johnny Gargano has a complete comedy segment on Raw this week. I'm not sure why they're doing so much comedy with him. I guess they trust him with it. I don't hate it. I don't really love it, though.
Now let's talk to the Johnny Gargano fan of the podcast. What do you think of that's happening with Johnny Gargano?
I just
do you
said
like it? No, you're not the Johnny Gargano fan of this podcast.
We're both Johnny Gargano fans. I don't know
Not
why you
more
try to
than any other
separate
guy.
everybody. You try to
Not any more than that other guy.
compartmentalize everybody.
Not any more than that other guy. Okay, he's basically came out.
Are you talking about our friend Zach?
Yes.
Okay, let's see what Zach has to say about this.
Zach?
As the ambassador to the Gargano tribe, I will agree with Phil in the sense that I would rather see Gargano wrestle, but I think they do just kind of trust him. Because remember in NXT, like especially over like the pandemic, they would do like long comedy shit with him all the time, and it's pretty entertaining TV. Yeah, in the way, and it got over, and it is a variety show. So if you got a guy who's like good at it, but at the same time, it is funny because the Raw audience is not the NXT audience. So I don't think they've really shown like Gargano's real strength yet on the main roster.
I agree.
Wrestling is his thing. Hopefully you get there sooner versus later.
He's Johnny Wrestling, not Johnny Sketch Comedy. But that's just me. And then we have new women's tag team matches. Our champions, Asuka and Alexa Bliss, go over Damage Control to win the tag belts. I don't have much to say about this without getting into the predictions.
I'll say this much. Damage Control was hot coming into SummerSlam. By the time they lost the championships on Raw, at least EO and Dakota, I was okay with that. They have lost a lot of momentum coming into it now. How you want to describe why they lost that, I'll let you deal with that. But for me, not a huge surprise at this point. I'm okay with it.
I'm surprised because it's not like the match was even booked before the show started.
Right.
There was a title switch. But that's the thing that's surprising about it.
Well, no, I think that maybe Triple H, creative, saw the writing on the wall, and it was maybe a time for a title change. Like
it's fine. I don't really care about it.
No,
it kind of came out of nowhere.
But I guess here's my biggest problem with this is that once again, now we're back to the problem where we brought the tag team titles back, and now we don't have, a legitimate direction, the next tag team or whatever the case may be. For me, I really wish they would have just kept it as one tag team championships, whether it was NXT or WWE, whoever it was, so that way you would and they're doing it anyway right now, where you have like Apollo Crews coming down to NXT. You had Dolph Ziggler come down to NXT. You could have had when they first initially did it, the NXT champions were going to be the ones that were going to travel around from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and defend these championships. That way you can have crossover or whatever the case may be. For whatever reason, they went away from that, and, they gave the tag team championships to the main roster and to SmackDown or to NXT as well. I thought it would have been a good idea just to keep it like that, to where now you can just have a floating championship between three brands. And I'm not saying NXT is a brand, but it's a show on Tuesday, so you know where to watch it. You could have that to where, like Katana Carter and Kaden, what's her fucking name? Okay, those girls can get over in a scenario where they might not win the titles, but you can have them on TV, on Raw, on SmackDown, and have them do their thing. That, to me, is one of the problems with the women's tag team championships in general. Just keep it to one. That's why I love the men's tag team championships have won. The men's singles championships needs to be broken up.
All right. Any final thoughts before we get into our predictions? That's good. Do it for our drink out.
1, 2, 3.
Is Zach still alive?
All right, guys.
Oh, my God.
So we have some Crown Royal predictions here, and I have to say that I have filled out every single
Crown
answer.
Royal.
Did I say Crown Royal?
The Comedy of Mistakes podcast 281. I've already got. Thank you, Zach. You gave me the fucking mention for this shit. Banford podcast.
You guys are gonna feel terrible if it finds out that you have I have a brain tumor and I'm like slowly dying and I have 6 months left, and you're gonna be like, oh,
God,
he kept
I
fucking.
wish a camera was on me right now.
He kept fucking this stuff up on the podcast, and we laughed at him, but it was just Bill slowly dying. All right.
He died the way he
this.
lived. Getting
Right.
laughed at.
I mean, that's good. That is really good.
Cold-blooded.
Hey, everybody, we know there's tons of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you guys listening to ours. All right, so we got... Fuck, I really just fucked up my own joke because now I can't start the other...
No, it'll be fine.
Anyway,
Nobody's
I have filled out.
anyway.
I have filled out every single prediction that I have thus far. I like to do this now in advance, so I can't do what Jason did a couple weeks ago and just glom off of my answers and get it right. So I have filled out every single answer except for one, and I'll let you guys. And that's the one we're going to start with.
Okay.
But let me write down my answer first. Hold
Go
on
ahead.
a second.
Roman versus Logan Paul. He's really on the fence.
I just flipped I really just flipped a coin though. All right.
You
So,
are stupid.
we have-
I love you.
We have Crown Jewel. Is this tomorrow?
No, it is Saturday morning, 11 o'clock.
Here?
Central Standard
America time?
Central Standard Time
Okay.
is 11 o'clock.
Because Crown Jewel.
I'm so glad I didn't take a drink because I was literally like this.
I didn't
He
do
said
that on
Crown
purpose.
Royal. I
All
was
right,
like,
all
oh,
right.
wait.
Come on, let's grow. Hold on. Crown
This
Jewel.
motherfucker's talking about let's grow up.
Crown Jewel did used to be on Fridays because I used to be working and watching it, right? But now it's going to be on Saturday America time?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So the one that I couldn't figure out how to write down was Asuka and Alexa Bliss versus Damage Control. Asuka and Alexa Bliss took the belts from Damage Control on Monday night. So, Jason, who do you have?
I will take the champs to retain.
So you are taking Asuka and Alexa Bliss. Who you got, Zach?
Yeah, I'll say they retain as well. I mean, they just got the belt. It'd be super weird doing anything else.
Vice, who do you have? Asuka and Alexa Bliss or Damage Control?
Asuka, Alexa Bliss.
He is taking the champs also. I flipped a coin here. I took Damage Control. I really didn't know who to take. I'm taking Damage Control because of my next pick, which is Bianca Belair versus Bayley, and I am taking Bayley here. And I'm expecting Damage Control to walk into War Games with all the belts. So I'm taking Bayley here, and this is the other reason I'm taking Bayley is because I think that Bianca Belair, they've been calling her the Jane Cena on the internet. People have been calling her Jane Cena because she gets over so hard, because she always goes over, and because she always goes over in a big time comeback, and it always seems like she's never going to make it, and then she just goes over again. So she's starting to get that. I think if they're going to take the belt off of her, though, they would do it in front of a bunch of middle-aged Middle Eastern men wearing long cloaks. So I am going to take Bayley. You think the FBI will hear that, man? I need this new job. They're going to pay me a lot more.
All right, Zach, get the time on this. Let's start mark this motherfucker right now so we can go back and delete this out. I'm taking Bianca Belair at this point. I'm sorry. If Charlotte is coming back, and she knows she's coming back, WrestleMania season is around the corner. The biggest match that you could probably make.
It's still half a year away, though. Like, we always talk about being right around the corner, but, like, WrestleMania is still 6 months away. It was 6 months ago.
Okay. This is November.
7 months.
This is November 3rd. We're sitting out here on your beautiful patio, and it's like 75 degrees, 70 degrees. It's unusually warm for November in St. Louis.
No.
In November?
Well, I'm not going to argue this. Go ahead with your point.
My point is Charlotte is around the corner. There's no reason to.
That's not a season.
It's WrestleMania season, motherfucker. Okay, that's the season. And you want to have your biggest players on the biggest stage at the biggest time. So you're going to have Charlotte somewhere around the corner. I'm taking Bianca Belair because Charlotte is around the corner. If not at WrestleMania, damn sure. If not at Royal Rumble, damn sure at WrestleMania.
2 beers, Zach. Who you get?
I'm going to go with Bianca. I just don't feel like her time to lose it yet, and that's all I can say.
All right. I'm looking forward to this match because I like watching Bianca Belair big-time matches. She's fun to watch.
She steps up.
Yeah, she really does. Who you got, Vice?
Bianca.
All right. So everybody's taking Bianca except for Bill. And I'm the only one that took Damage Control, too. All right. Okay.
Keep it a theme.
No. Let's just see what happens.
Okay.
This can go one way or the other.
For the unified tag belts, we have the Usos versus the Brawling Brutes, which is, for these intents, Ridge Holland and Butch, a.k.a. Pete Dunne. So who do you have, Zach?
This is the Usos. They're, gone on so long, they're going to have to. They haven't beat New Day's record yet, have they? No. So I think that they'll probably have to do it, or they'll have to face the Usos or face the New Day, like around that time. It'd just be silly if the Brawling Brutes beat the Usos right now. The bloodline's like so hot. No.
Vice.
I got the Usos as well.
Jason.
Stevie Wonder can see the Usos are going to win it. They got New Day's right around the corner. I mean, no need to fuck this shit up at this point.
what's the way to say it? Is the Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock of the Week?
No, my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock
He
of
was
the
just
Week.
asking how we say it. That's how we say it.
Okay, yeah, and then that's my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock of the Week. Done.
That's so. Before I wrote down my shit earlier, right?
You can't change it.
I wrote down Brutes because I was thinking, oh, I was getting mesmerized by the Uso drama, the Usi drama.
He's getting ready to change it.
And then Zach reminded me that we had to, like, they had not reached the New Day level yet, and they're going to save it up for that match. So I crossed it out before I said anything, and I wrote down a U.
Wait, man.
I'm taking the Usos also.
Hang on, man. Hang on, man. We got all kinds of bullshit going on.
Man.
That's that bullshit.
No, I'm telling you what I did. I crossed it out and I wrote you.
Okay, so why are you going to do the predictions before we even do it?
I forgot about that part.
No.
I forgot.
No, man.
I just forgot about that part. So we're all taking the Usos. We all knew that. I mean, that's an easy pick. All right.
I can't believe you even wrote down Brutes to begin with.
Thank you.
Coming up next. This is probably the hardest one for me to predict. Listen, when I wrote down all this shit, I was like, man, I could be wrong about 6 out of 8 of these.
I gotta hit some more of this weed.
Easily. This is a hard thing to predict. But I am going to go. So for Judgment Day versus the OC, I'm going to go the OC. Jason, I'd like to hear your prediction next. I have no reason why other than the Judgment Day can't win everything, and they've just been winning everything over and over and over again.
Jesus Christ.
I can skip you.
Yeah, please. Give me a second.
Vice, do you want to go?
I'm going Judgment Day on this one.
Vice is going Judgment Day. Zach, who do you have?
I got the OC. They're newer to the, at least this point, newer. And, I can just imagine them bring it. Like, if it was Vince might bring the OC over to Saudi Arabia to job him out. But
I could totally see that, too.
Jason, you okay?
No, I'm still mad about Carl Anderson. Come find me as soon as I catch my breath. I'm going to take the OC on this one. As much as I don't like Carl Anderson, and as much as I want him to come find me in St. Louis, Missouri at 6'3", blah, 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 you can...
That's your zip code?
6'3", blah, 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 yeah, it's my zip code.
I know where you live, motherfucker.
I would be really surprised.
I know where you live.
I know you do.
I'll say it right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell
1000 Olive Street, St. Louis, Missouri.
I would be really surprised.
Get there between midnight and 3.
Yeah, right.
On Fridays, Saturdays, and some Wednesdays, I guess.
Yeah, knock on the door, see what happens. I have the OC on this one. I agree with everything the Two Beer said. You're not going to bring them over to Saudi Arabia on the non-Vince regime and have them job out in Saudi Arabia.
Vice is the only one that had Judgment Day there, that surprised me. But I just think that you can't have him lose again.
Look,
or unless you're just
to see
Ray
take the win. I'm sorry, Dom take the win. That would be perfect.
Unless you're just Triple H and taking your steroid shrunken dick and putting it on the table and being like, I'm going to pay Carl Anderson, even though he has a New Japan belt.
I got to take a playoff.
I'm going to pay him to come over to Saudi Arabia and job out to Judgment Day. Huh? No, we're still recording. We're almost done. You come sit out here. Next up, we have Omos versus Braun Strowman. Do you want to make a prediction there? Come here.
Who you got?
Omos or Braun Strowman?
Omos.
Woo, that's who I got too. Already wrote it down.
Give me Omos as well. No, actually, take that back. I got Braun Strowman. I got Braun Strowman.
He got caught up in the moment.
Right.
He was like, fuck it, give me Omos. Wait. Hold on a second. I'll take Braun Strowman.
Hard right.
That's how Colts get started.
Two Beer. If I ever have kids, and it's a boy, may I name it after you?
Oh, really?
Sure.
Because you're my brother.
I give you my blessing.
Thank you. No, I got Braun Strowman on this one. The only reason I got it is because if you bring him back, you bring him back for a reason. Omos has to get over it, and I get that. I just don't think this is the right place, right time.
Vice, who you got? Braun Strowman. Vice taking Braun also. Zach Pullman, who you got?
I got Braun mostly because I don't want to say the other guy's name.
We have shamed him
Dude.
on this pod.
Zach,
Shamed him.
Zach, let me stop recording for a second. Hold on. I got to stop recording. Zach, are you a stand-up comedian? I never stopped recording, dude. You're on tape.
I say this is why I need to look away. Be like, don't wait. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
Jason's like, here's the baddie. Let's get crazy. It's like the last 20 minutes of this shit is just a free for all.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre. You know what? I forgot to say this. The Bianca Belair Bayley match is a last woman standing match.
I'm still taking Bianca. And this
Does that change anybody's picks?
No.
Okay. All right.
Is it the first ever last woman standing match?
Come on, man. Come on.
I don't know. It might be. It
They're
might be.
being super progressive in Saudi Arabia.
Actually, I think it is because
I don't think
Bayley
it- I don't
and
think it
Bianca
is.
were supposed to have the first last woman standing match. Bayley got hurt training for this match. That's when Bayley got hurt,
We're still recording.
and then she had to go away. Bianca held the title, and now we're here again. I think this is WWE long-term storytelling.
So let's get past it then. So we have steel cage match between Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross. Jason already took Karrion Kross. Zach, who you got?
Did I?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I took Karrion Kross. No, I'm sorry.
I was like, did I pick?
Sorry, Jason, who you taking?
Okay. I was gonna say, I know I'm pretty banged
Put
up.
that on you. I'll put it on you.
I know I'm pretty banged. I know I'm pretty banged up, but I was like, damn, I didn't know I picked. This is a steel cage match. Karrion Kross won the first. Oh my God, this is a perfect time for him to win the second. But
This is a hard one, too.
I will
These
go,
are hard picks, actually.
No, this is hard because I know what you should
It
do.
also feels like a real pay-per-view.
No, it doesn't.
I don't know, man. It really
this
does.
is easily
This
bypassable.
is a-
The one they did last year when they had Roman versus
This is
Brock
a-
as the main event, that was the one that was like, and we said it on the pod. It was a WrestleMania type fucking card in Saudi Arabia.
This is a massive card.
No, it's not.
Dude, this is a massive card.
Okay, we got two guys that are sitting here that can be easily voting on one side or the other. I will go to Two Beer. You can go to Vice. Two Beer. Is this a massive card? Yes or no?
I think so.
Dude,
Wow.
I know what Vice is going to say.
Okay, fair enough.
There's no doubt.
Fair
It's a
enough.
massive card.
Look, I'm on the island by myself. I don't mind
not-
being the black
I'm
guy.
not-
I would just say this. I am not looking forward to
All right.
this one, the one I was looking forward to the one before.
Who are you taking? Karrion Kross or Drew McIntyre? Steel cage match.
I'll go typical WWE booking, especially in Saudi Arabia. Give me Drew McIntyre.
Vice.
I'm taking Cross, and this is definitely a big card. It's a fun time.
Yeah, this is a big card, dude. You're the only one on that. Like this could be SummerSlam.
Okay.
Look at this lineup, dude. Braun Strowman versus Omos. No matter what you think of it, no matter what.
Really?
That is a
Really?
but that's
your starting argument for this is a huge card.
I'm saying that's
I know
a-
they're big guys.
Hold on,
but
hold
that
on,
doesn't
hold
mean
on.
it's a huge
Stop.
card. So
Hold
what?
on.
This is a 5-star classic. Really? That's what you're gonna go with?
I'm saying
Come harder than that.
I'm saying if that's your 5th worst match or your 5th least interesting match, that's a big ass card, man. Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. Everybody wants to see that. Lashley versus Lesnar. Everybody wants to see that.
I'll give you that one.
Bianca versus Bayley.
I'll give you
Everybody
that
wants
one.
to see that. Usos versus the Brutes. Everybody wants to see that. McIntyre versus Karrion Kross. Oh, you don't want to see that? How about fucking Styles versus Finn Balor in OC versus Judgment Day? That's not a big fucking card. That could be SummerSlam, dude. No joke. No joke. That is this is a massive card.
Okay.
So you're agreeing with me?
No.
Okay.
No,
All
no.
right. All right. So you're
No,
taking
no.
McIntyre. Okay.
Yes,
And Bo's taking Karrion Kross. Okay, Zach, who you got? Karrion Kross versus McIntyre. And Steel Cage.
I've got Drew McIntyre for sure.
Wow. All right. So Bo and I are on the same page, and Two Beer and JCB are on the same page. Weird. I'll take it. I feel pretty fucking confident.
It's Toronto WrestleMania all over again. Nobody
right.
know what the fuck's getting ready to happen
All
next.
right. We got 2 matches left. These are probably – this one's hard. Next one's easy. I'll start with the hard one, okay?
Okay.
We got Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar.
Ain't that hard.
I went on the podcast about a month ago and talked about how we'd never seen this match. Yet, I was there at the Royal Rumble 8 months ago and watched this match live.
And don't remember it.
Tweeted about it while I was watching it and couldn't stop talking about it after I left the show with David Patterson. And I was like, man, we've never seen Lesnar versus Lashley. And then the next day I woke up and, like, it was all there. And I was like, oh, yeah, I watched that shit live. I was going nuts. All I did was take
about it too.
one hit of weed before I walked in. That's all it takes, man. And I'm stoned. Okay, I'm taking Lashley. I have no idea why. What I want
It's a
is
good thing we don't get chops or anything anymore. There's no repercussions
Yeah,
for
right.
this.
Everybody's just throwing shit out there, fucking. Oh, nobody's taking the chop. Bill take it too. Nobody gets anything else. Fuck it. I'm taking Lashley, and this is why.
so I'm taking Lashley because I really want Shelton Benjamin to get involved, to turn against Brock or to come in Brock's. Like, I really want that Brock Lesnar Shelton Benjamin angle because they're boys and they both wrestled in Minnesota and they love each other and they're like best friends. And all they had was like that 5 minutes at the Royal Rumble that one year, but it ruled. Like, I want a Shelton Benjamin angle, like a retirement angle, where Shelton Benjamin just does something super cool for like a year and then fades off into the sunset. Maybe the most underrated WWE wrestler of our time. People don't talk about him. I want a Shelton Benjamin angle for Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, but it won't happen. And everything that I want to happen never happens, so I'm taking Bobby Lashley. Zach, who you got?
I've got Lesnar.
Jason, who you got?
Lesnar.
Bo,
Stone
who you
Cold
got?
Lead Pipe.
Bo's got Lesnar. This is your Stone Cold Lead Pipe?
I don't know. I just said it.
All right.
We need to start doing that shit.
So let's have a fun exercise here, okay?
Okay.
So Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. I assume everybody's taking Roman Reigns?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Zach, yes?
Yep.
Sometimes Bo hangs out long enough here where he starts answering like he's on mic, but he's not on mic. And like everybody except for me and Jason like don't get to hear what he's saying. But it's like there's another person. It's like
He
there's
keep
a
fucking
ghost.
around. He gonna get
I
a
know.
mic here in a little bit.
He doesn't want it. I offered it to him.
No, I would drag a mic from my house to this motherfucker. I get
All
drag
right,
everything.
let's have a
else.
fun little exercise.
Okay.
Jason, I want you to give me a scenario where it makes sense that Logan Paul would win.
Common enemies of Roman Reigns. Let's try this again. I still didn't get it right. Kevin Owens hasn't been around. Thank you. Kevin Owens hasn't been around. That's an option to play with. I'm not. I guess the right hand where he has the steel plates. You can play with that.
Zach, do you have a scenario?
I'm really reaching.
Number one scenario Logan Paul beats Roman Reigns for the title is that Roman Reigns' cancer is back.
Wow. No, you didn't. That's fucking horrible. You need to stop. Okay, look, I was trying to play this shit on kayfabe. You over here bringing real shit into this motherfucker. You are going to hell. I will be driving the bus. When I pull up, I'm just going to beep. I'm just going to beep. You need to be outside. If you ain't outside, I'm coming to get you. Because you coming to hell with me. I don't know what circle of hell you want to be on. Third, fourth, fifth, whatever the case may be. You going to hell. Okay?
I will say it's the biggest match that they could make, and I understand why they made it. I'm really looking forward to seeing it, but there's no way that he's winning that belt. Those belts.
Ain't no way. Man, you ain't
All
shit,
right.
dog.
All right. So
that man came back from cancer. Ain't been paying to 3 years, and you gonna make that joke? Man, you ain't shit.
maybe I thought that you guys would have taken the question a little bit more seriously.
It's
but I was like
asking,
asking for like a realistic way, like an argument that Logan Paul could win. So they brought up Monday that Logan Paul's got the medal in his hand, right? Which is, I kind of like this angle that they're going with, which is like all Logan Paul needs is one lucky punch, and he can win the title. No, but it is like an underdog story.
Dude, stop.
It's a good story. It's a good story. It's a good build.
You guys act like the bloodline's not going to be anywhere close in the vicinity. Somewhere, anywhere. Fuckery will
not
happen.
Sami Zayn. Because he won't go there. He's got principles.
Yeah, and good on Sami Zayn. Entertain me and be principled at the same time.
His brother beat Anderson Silva this weekend, and he's going to be there in his corner.
All right. So here's my argument for Logan Paul winning. Is that
Usos over.
Roman Reigns probably needs a break, man. He's been on the road for a while. This is a way to build the brand. Like, if you're Triple H and you're talking to your pissed off board of directors that are pissed off because the shit came down on Vince, right?
They coughed out $20 million. No problem. Next.
But stock is different. Like, they're trying to sell stock. They're trying to make the company look good. You put the belt on somebody like Logan Paul, and then Logan Paul takes his shit to Impulsive, and he goes on Jimmy Fallon, he goes on Jimmy Kimmel, and he goes on fucking Stephen Colbert, and he goes on all these shows.
Stop.
And I'm just telling you, this is the argument I would make if I was trying to convince a jury.
For Logan Paul.
I'd be like, then why not put the belt on him? You can only grow the brand. You can do kind of a version of what they're doing in AEW with Jericho against ROH, and you can have Logan Paul be like, I stepped in there and I took the belt. He's like, I'm a YouTuber. I took the belt. This is the argument for it, and you can do it in Saudi because
it's basically a house show.
It's basically a house show, and you just have Logan Paul carry it around for a while. He shows up on
48
TMZ.
hours tops.
He shows up on Entertainment Tonight.
48 hours tops. You got to cough that up when you eat some American soy.
And then he loses it back to somebody else, or Austin Theory catches in on him. Roman Reigns squashes Austin Theory at Royal Rumble, and then Roman Reigns fights The Rock at WrestleMania. Let me book the territory. That's how I would have convinced a jury.
Okay, all right.
That being said, I'm taking Roman Reigns.
We all said that. We all said that. Okay, nobody's disagreeing with that.
I'm just trying to make the case.
No. I agree with everything you're saying up to a certain just little point that WWE threw out there.
Do you
today.
buy it at all?
I do. No, all bullshit aside, I do buy it. I'm just saying.
Pretty good.
No, it's really good. It makes absolute sense. I think WWE wants to have Roman Reigns go over the 3-year mark without being pinned first. And then once he breaks that, then we can start having shit to happen.
Who is going to take the belt off this dude? I just, like, I know we keep talking about The Rock. It just doesn't feel like that's going to happen.
No, it's not.
That just feels like a dream that everybody keeps talking about.
I'm going to stick to my list that I said before. Cody Rhodes 1, Seth Rollins 2, Braun Breaker 3. That's my list. I'm sticking to it.
What was
I ain't
number 2?
changing. Seth.
No, what was number 1 then?
Cody.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Zach, who you got?
Who's taking it off of him?
Yes.
Shit, now I think it's Logan Paul.
Say innocent as charged. What? OJ's what?
Hey, everybody. We know there's tons of podcasts listening.
Jason's going home. White people,
right,
man.
We're almost there. Zach's been on fire, man. He's been on fire tonight. Okay. So, yeah, we've covered it all.
I think we're done.
Hold on. I gotta wait for this shit to play out. I gotta wait for it to play out so I can do the proper. I gotta do birthdays and shit. Oh, we got some birthdays this week. Cameron. You remember Cameron?
Is this the rapper or?
That's Cameron.
Okay, I'm just asking. I'm asking it. Okay, so it's the wrestler. It's the wrestler.
Is that Sly and the Family Stone?
Cameron, yes. Naomi's side chick, yes.
With
your boy that has still
my
not
boy,
won the
Brodus Clay.
that still has not won the world
Nah,
championship.
I don't think he's going to now. But we'll wait. We'll wait.
You keep waiting, I might die at this point.
She's 35. Andrade Cien Almas Flair is 33. Alexander Wolf. You remember Alexander Wolf?
You ain't shit.
Loved Alexander Wolf. He is 36. Nick Aldis. You remember Nick Aldis?
Yes, I do.
Fought Cody, and Cody, he dropped the NWA
title, in front of our faces.
36.
That's it?
Yeah, young guy.
Damn.
King Kong Bundy. Black, dead, or Canadian?
I'm going to go with dead.
I think so. I didn't look it up. I mean, he would have been 65.
I think he's dead.
I thought you would have known.
No.
Goddamn. Rocky Johnson. Black, dead, or Canadian?
Black. Taking the safe way out on this one. Is he Canadian for real?
No.
No, he is all three.
Quite a bit, though. I think
No.
he's got kids in Canada. He's
Dog
set up some
1118. Mike Gonzalez or Mike Hernandez or what's his name?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Just stop.
Mike Santa Ana? What's his name? Friend of the show. What's his name? He asked me to include this week. He was like, I know it's not his birthday, but Rocky Johnson was black, dead, and Canadian. And I go, and he asked me to include this. He said you'd miss it, and you did. Zach got it. He said all three. All right, coming up next, we have
I'm so pissed.
Joey Ryan is 43. Ted DiBiase Jr. Remember him?
Yeah,
He's 40. You think him and Cody still talk on the phone?
Give me a second, man.
You think they text each other?
I need a second.
I think Joey Ryan should be off the birthday list
forever
because of his sexual assault.
You think?
Yeah, and just lack of.
I mean, OJ was still in the Naked Gun.
That was before OJ started to get snaked.
I know, but notice I didn't say anything about him playing football because I don't give a fuck. I just know he was awesome in the Naked Gun.
He was
fair.
really good.
No, that's fair.
Heroin, Frank. Heroin. That's a pretty tall order. Nordberg, you have to give me a couple hours on that one.
I'm done. You ain't shit.
Keith Lee is 30. Kazuchika Okada is 35. Chris Jericho this week is 52. Billy Gunn, the aforementioned Billy Gunn, is 59. And Pete Dunne, 29. A full 30 years younger than Billy Gunn.
Jesus Christ.
For Aaron Veggie.
Check.
For Reba the dog.
Check.
For Amelia the cat. For
Check.
Xander the cat. For Edna
Check.
May the baby.
Double check.
For Murray Man the Murray.
Check.
For Patriot Pat.
Check.
For Tinder Mahal.
Check.
For Grandel Wrestling.
Check.
For Vice.
Main event coming up. Check.
Did I forget anybody?
No.
For Two Beer, Zach Pullman. For Jason Cornelius Bell. I am
Check,
Bill
check.
Veggie. Everybody, Black Lives Matter.
Check.
Support your local restaurants. Support your
Check.
local weed dealers. And
Check.
boo the heels. And
bitch.
apologies to Eddie Kingston for all the insider terms used tonight.